Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another exciting episode of Hollywood After Dark. It is July 24th, 2022. Comic-Con is officially over. And now we're going to break down the fight of the century, folks. Kevin Feige versus Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Who took home the dub? Who took home the L? And what does the future bring? All of that here tonight and more. Hollywood After Dark, folks. Let's fucking go. Oh. God damn it. God did it again. I always forget to take that thing off there. Anyway, guys, hope you're out there having a fantastic night. Welcome back to Hollywood After Dark. It is going to be a fun evening as we talk about the overview of the weekend. I was a little exhausted last night. 2 live streams is a lot for me. I'm old, god damn it. But, man, plus that Marvel just wore me out. I needed to drink a Gatorade from all the electrolytes I lost while watching that fucking panel. And it was just an amazing time. Actually, I couldn't do anything else last night. I played Max Payne 3 until like 3:30 in the morning. I needed to just veg and not do anything else. So I did that. But anyway, guys, tonight we're talking about a lot of cool stuff here. Let me bring in one of my guests tonight. Obviously, you guys know him. You guys love him. Caden. What's up, Caden? What up? How you doing? It's so kind of weird to do that, right? It's like that weird intro. What up? How's it going?
It's going good.
It's going good. Yeah, there we go. Man, what a weekend, though, right? What an absolute crazy-ass weekend. You know what no one's talking about, though, what I think they probably should be, is Nope. I feel like no one is talking about Nope. This was the worst weekend to release that movie.
Honestly, yeah, it was.
You know, it really was. It really was. I mean, I hear the movie got a B cinema score.
Yeah.
Which is super interesting. And I don't know anything. I haven't seen the movie yet. I saw like Dave Pena saw it. He did a reaction video to it. I haven't watched it though. I just can't get past his mustache. Like that's really bothering me right now. You know, like the donut duster. It's really bothering me I hate those mustaches. It's like, you know, just stop it. Just shave it or like grow it out or whatever, man.
I hate the mustaches that like kind of like go like near your like the part when your lip splits and like but it's not like full there yet, but like it's like trying to attach to your like beard, but you don't have a beard, so it's like just like Brandon Davis had that like mustache for a little bit until he grew out his whole facial hair. I saw Brendan this weekend at Comic-Con too, and it's like, what is this? What is this weird like Magnum PI wannabe shit? Like, stop it. I was like, clean it up, please. Like, I'm like, you look great, but you need to just clean it up. Like,
yeah, unless you're going to be rocking overalls and scooping up, you know, fucking cow turds, like perhaps don't look like you might belong in like one of those, like I had sex with my stepsister Pornhub videos. Like maybe stop it.
Yeah.
You know, or not, sorry, not a stepsister, just real sister. You know, that's where, you know, you get into that weird Southern Alabama kink. Man? Speaking of Southern Alabama, RJ, how's it going?
Doing okay. Sadly, my mom and dad have COVID, so I'm taking care of them right now. But you know, today was like coming off the high. It's like the morning after a hangover. You know, it's a hangover morning because of the Marvel panel. But
today was a rough day for me. I was like, I don't know what it is. Like sometimes those events now, like if I get really hyped, I don't know what it is. They kick my ass for like a day. You know. Like now it might have been the fact that I like ate an entire box of sweet tarts last night, but that's just like a personal thing. Like, I was really craving sweets, man. I bought myself a box and I'm just like, all right, I'm just going to like piecemeal these out. These are just going to be for like when I have a little bit of craving, give myself a sweet tart. And then I'm sitting there playing Max Payne and I'm just like, I want candy. Sure. It's 1:00 in the morning, but I don't fucking care. You know? And I just finished off the box and then I sat there. You get that weird feeling of just like, oh, I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah,
shouldn't have done that. And then I'm like thinking about like my body going like, I'm a type 2 diabetic. My body is probably either really happy or I'm going to lose a foot.
Wow. But I mean, overall though, today was pretty good. I mean, kind of like the aftermath of Comic-Con, right? And kind of like cool day for me because, you know, I kind of like relaunched a couple things for the channel. Like I launched a Patreon page finally. I got my Discord account going again, Instagram and all that stuff, trying to branch out, expand the channel a little bit. So
nice. Yeah, there's a lot today. I mean, it's Comic, like the last day of con is always one of those weird, like kind of like, yeah, it's like you feel like you're kind of like, if you've been there since Wednesday, right? You've been really go now for 4 or 5 days. And you're just like, okay, it's the end of it. And, you know, you're having fun and but you're ready. Like when I went back in 2019 for the last day, my brother and I, like, I had to fly out that evening. I think I had a flight at like 5 o'clock or something. Right. And so, you know, we decided to go back down to the convention center, hang out for about 2.5, 3 hours, get whatever I needed to get done. And then, you know, just went back, got some lunch, went back, packed up and took off to the airport and shit. Right. And it was like, it was one of those things where I felt really bad because like of my flight, like I kind of wanted to push the flight to Monday, but I left my girlfriend. She was like 8.5 months pregnant. And she had our first daughter who was only like 1.5 years old for like 12 days. I went out of town, like this 12-day trip. So I'm like, I better get the fuck back. I have to get the fuck home. This was a business trip, totally had to do it, but I still need to get the fuck home. But you just kind of feel like there's that sense of like when it's over and you're just like, oh, well, shit, you know, now I just got to wait. I got to just wait till next year. And it just ends up being, it's kind of a sad thing, you know, bittersweet, but you sleep really well that night, by the way.
The last night.
Yeah. Cause when you get back and you're done, right?
Yeah.
You get back, you're done. You get
finally
home.
Actually rest. Like fully.
Yeah. And you don't have to wait. And you don't have to wait to see. This is the biggest problem with trying to sleep during Comic-Con. It's like the anticipation of going back the next day, right? So like when I would go, we would stay real late. We would stay like really, really, really late, and then I'd have to go back out to the car, find the car, drive the car back out to my stepdad's house, which is about like 20 minutes outside of town. Go to bed at like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning because I have to wind down, take a shower, and like just chill out, like offload my footage or do whatever work I have to get done. Because every time I went, this is the problem with being a videographer. I think you could like vlog this shit. I'm like, oh, I bought all of this gear in order to be able to go to Comic-Con or any convention really and film it and then be able to edit it on my phone or my tablet and then be able to upload it and everything else. Well, here's the thing. You simply don't have the time to really do that because it's like you're moving around constantly. You can't really charge your batteries and cell phone service is really spotty. So it's just nuts to kind of like, to do that. And then that also kind of burns you out because then you're not really taking care of yourself because you're trying to like capture all this footage. Cause again, if you're there as media, you're kind of like on it's like first one out the gate sort of thing. Right. Whereas, you go down there and you have like fucking like IGN and GameSpot and all the other outlets that are there. I don't know why I chose 2 gaming outlets, but like all the other outlets, Variety, Deadline, whomever, Collider, and they got people on the floor and they got people in every panel and they have dedicated hotel rooms that you can, that they have. You go back to your work, you get it up at a reasonable time. The rest of us are just clamoring to like get shit done. It's very frustrating.
Right.
So it's crazy. It's very much a crazy situation. But here's the thing. If you guys ever are looking to go to Comic-Con, if you guys are ever looking to experience it, I recommend it at least one time. I do. I recommend it at least one time.
I've been to Stan Lee's Comic-Con Kamikaze like 3 years in a row.
I went to Kamikaze in 2012. And that's where I saw Superman Returns, the Donner cut for the first time. And then Margot Kidder was there for Q&A afterward. So that was really cool. I really enjoyed that quite a bit.
It was the 2017 through 2019. I went to there.
Nice. I was living I was in Oregon at that point. All right. Rational here for $2, man. Thank you. Asks, what do you think about the thoughts about The Rock talking about Henry Cavill? Yeah, this is something I think you sent to me yesterday. and we can
BD,
play the
right?
clip. Yeah, I think it's the one with BD. Yeah, it's the one with BD. I did not get the chance to talk about this last night because everything else going on, and you know how it is. How yesterday was just crazy as fuck. So here is the clip, and a lot of people are diving into this in a very interesting way. Have you noticed that? Where like they're trying to really like, I saw someone like analyze how many times the Rock like blinks.
Yeah.
Like I'm not even making that up.
There's a lot in this sentence.
Well, here's the thing too, real quick. It says the audience booed him a little. You know what? Before we dive into this, I want to play that clip, for example, because no, the audience did not boo him in a way that you would consider to be booing. All right, like that's something we need to really consider here. The audience did not boo The Rock in any way that you would consider to be, like in a negative. Here's the clip.
Probably all depends on who's playing Superman. I will just say that. So I'll leave it at that.
See, that's not a boo. That's not ooh. That's a yeah. That's an ooh, right? It's not even like an boo earns sort of thing. It's not a negative, right? They want him to answer it, sure, but he can't give the answer. Anyone in that fucking panel, anyone in that room knows precisely the kind of question you will not get answered, and they know precisely the kind of dance around that the celebrities on stage, the entertainers on stage will give you. And that response is more of just like a, come on, man. Right? That's all it is. That's not a boo.
It's a mixture of like oohs and more like an aw, man, like that
kind
of thing.
Yeah. It's not booing. Again, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that maybe you're lost on like social interactions. I'm sorry. Maybe you don't understand here, like how social settings work when you go to a convention like this. When someone asks a hot topic question and they get that kind of corporate response where I can't say what's going on, and the response back to that is like, ooh, that's not like a boo, boo, boo. Maybe like 1-2 people did, okay, because there's 6,500 people, so I can't speak for everybody. All I can talk about, though, is the vast majority of people. And the vast majority of people aren't doing that. And if you think that they're doing that, you do not know Comic-Con. You do not know Hall H. We didn't even boo when fucking Twilight was there, okay? We had to suffer. Okay? We had to suffer through that shit. But no one booed. They should have, because it was terrible.
That's like, I have PTSD.
No one booed.
That shit.
Hold on. There was one real loud boo out of 6,500 fucking people. Just run the percentages on that real quick. It was not out of anger. Yeah, it was not out of anger at all. All right, that's all it is. Shifty Gizmir says, play the Diablo mobile clip if you want to hear real boos.
Oh, that was real boos, yes.
Oh, which one is that one? Is that the one? Is this a joke? An April Fool's Day joke? Is that the one?
That's the one, yeah.
That is one of my favorite clips. That is really good. It is Red Shirt Guy was right. Red Shirt Guy was asking the hard question, like, is this a joke? Like, what's going on? And then apparently the game is shit, from what I've been hearing. The Diablo Immortal is terrible, from my understanding. So I haven't seen it, but I hear it's pretty shitty. Anyway, let's take a look here. Well, can you find me the clip, Spherical Man, of Shatner talking about Star Wars? Because I read the article, but I have not seen the clip yet. So Darkness, we'll get to that here in a second, but why don't we take a quick look here at The Rock talking about Henry Cavill, because I think he's right. But look at the body language and look at how he's talking about it.
What does Black Adam think of heroes like Superman and the Justice Leaguers, who I imagine are very famous in this world? And have you and Henry talked about what that showdown might look like if it ever happened?
I will say this. I will say that Henry's a buddy, and he is a phenomenal Superman. He is a phenomenal Superman, and Henry Cavill is the Superman of our generation. With respect to the other Supermans in the past, and every time I see him, we have some tequila, I always say, that's Superman. And these guys will attest to that. So my longtime business partner, Danny Garcia, who who's his sister, she has been a passionate advocate for Henry Cavill and his career for a very, very long time. So the reason why I say all that is because you got a lot of people who advocate on Henry's behalf and root for him to win. And I do root for him to win. And at the end of the day, he is a phenomenal Superman.
All right. So what do you make of that?
I didn't answer the question whatsoever.
Of course not.
Hey, Henry Cavill's a great guy.
Oh,
and
no.
we hope it can work out, I guess. I don't know.
It didn't answer the question because I don't think he knows the correct answer.
Well, he can't. He also
can't say
anything. I would say.
Yeah. No.
I mean, I would say that if I had to guess, when I think about this, again, he talks about Danny Garcia, right?
Yeah.
So she's been a big advocate for Henry's career. He didn't say, because he goes, my producing partner, Danny Garcia, right? Or my business partner, or whatever. He didn't say agent, but he says partner. And he says she's been a big advocate for his career, omitting that Danny is Henry's agent. So like, that right there to me, that's pretty telling. Because like he probably like can't say it or just doesn't want to like lead into it in the sense of saying like, or in the sense of going like, well, yeah, like we have all this, we have all of this investment into it. But if it's not working, then it's not working. And so I wanted to kind of touch upon that because, we had that viewer anon post from yesterday. And obviously talking a bit more about that. Let me see if I can find the screenshot, because I know I took the screenshot yesterday. Let's see. I think this is it right here. And if things run a little slow tonight, I apologize. For some reason, my computer is going real kind of bonkers. I don't know what's going on. Everything's running a bit slower. Let's see. Okay, what's up?
No, I was making a joke saying Windows update.
Oh, probably. Probably. Now, this is what viewer Nana said. He says here, it's all a game of he said, she said, but I've been told on multiple occasions that Henry Cavill isn't Superman right now because Henry is unwilling to come back. I don't know what Warner Brothers' terms are that he isn't happy with, but the studio has asked him to come back on multiple occasions, going on to say maybe they aren't offering enough money, maybe he wants more creative control, and they're unwilling to budge. I honestly have no idea, but I've heard a dozen reasons from a dozen people. And that kind of becomes one of the biggest questions in Hollywood, right? Like, who is Superman? Is it Henry Cavill? And is it, or is it going to be somebody new? And I'm at this point, it's somebody new. It's going to be somebody new,
It is. Honestly, I would not be surprised if that rumored post-credit scene of what Black Adam is not. Like, people, like, are describing it as Superman, but, like, I would not be surprised if it turns out it's actually Supergirl's crest that Amanda Waller is showing, that, like, the rumor.
Please don't even say that, because that's going to break so many people's hearts if that's actually the case.
But I actually think that's relatively accurate, to be honest with you.
That's going to be the case, though. Like,
but and I'm not saying nobody would want to see that, but like, is the same level of hype going to be there if it's Supergirl versus Superman?
Well, I mean, but the thing is, though, no, it won't be. Let's be real on this one. It absolutely won't be. But what we have to realize, though, is that, it doesn't matter anymore, right? Like Henry, look, when I talked about Henry aging out of the role and everyone gave me fucking shit for it, it has nothing to do with not wanting to see him come back. It has everything to do with, again, all of these specific situations that have played out in that particular way, right? Everything keeps getting pushed back and getting pushed back and getting pushed back and getting pushed back. And a lot of people now are getting very frustrated because they're like, well, we just want to know what's going on with Superman. Where's our Superman? Our Superman is Henry Cavill. And there's been no information from the studio, but from my take, from what viewer Anon says, and it seems to track, is that they've been hinting at Henry Cavill, keeping the door open. And the problem isn't a Warner Brothers problem at this point. It's a Henry Cavill problem.
Right.
That's what it boils down to.
I just sent to the group chat. And
I did. I don't know where that one I don't know where you saw that, but I kind of disagreed with it a little bit. Only because I know that Man of Steel made more money than what that thing said.
Oh.
Because
I just see it as a way like where it's like, although yes, like audience, we all want Henry Cavill. It's a matter of like Cavill and WB. You know, it's up to them, and it's also up to, I think, The Rock and Danny Garcia as well.
Well, it's really up to like, look, they're going to say we want it, right? They're going to say we want it. Cavill, if it's true, Cavill wants more control. So let's kind of just quickly take a quick look here at like everything that's happened with Henry Cavill, right? Cavill has said that he wants a more Boy Scout Superman. He wants the more traditional Superman. And there's been people that have said he's not happy with the way that Zack Snyder was going with the direction. And I disagree. I think Zack and Henry had an understanding that there was going to be the deconstruction of the character in order to then rebuild the character into the Superman that people know and people love. It just was going to take time to get there. I think a lot of people want Superman right out the gate to have no fucking character development, like none, right? I mean, like really, go watch the original 1978 movie. Does the Superman really have any character development outside of like falling in love with like with Lois Lane and then him literally reversing the polarity of the planet only to turn back time to save her life? I mean, and of course to stop all the destruction.
Yeah, but it was about the realization of seeing that character on the big screen. It was meant to be larger than life. It was meant to be a spectacle. He was meant to be somebody to aspire to. Right?
No, I get that, but we're beyond that age now, RJ. Like we're beyond that age. People, I'm not saying people are smarter now, but people have been inundated with this for years, and they want more than just like, when people say they want a Boy Scout Superman, I think that's lame. I think it's lazy. I think it's boring. And I've been very open about this. And it's not to say that
I disagree with you because I think you can still do Boy Scout and make it compelling.
I mean, honestly, you can't make it compelling, but look at, they tried that with Superman Returns.
No, Superman Returns, they tried to be the Donner films. They didn't actually try to do a modernized version of the Boy Scout Superman.
Well, here's the thing. Well, Lame Duck,
another style.
Well, but that's the style people seem to want. They want it now, apparently. Remember, they rejected it. They rejected it 16 years ago, and then they went the other direction, and now people are like, we don't want that, go back the other way. Now, Just a Lame Duck here says, do not respect the original Superman. But the original Superman did not have the power set that he has now. The original Superman could leap tall buildings in a single bound. He didn't fly. He jumped. He was a street level hero. He beat up shitty landlords. He beat up mobsters. He beat up gang members. He beat up bad people that were on the street. He was your average, everyday civil servant type hero type guy. That was basically it. Then later on, they gave him the ability to like fly and to have like laser vision and all of this shit. And they turned him into basically a fucking Dragon Ball. And then, with the fucking OP level of over 9,000, and then it's like they want people to take the character seriously when nothing can impact him. And that's what the whole point though, right? That's like what I'm trying to argue here essentially is basically Cavill going through the deconstruction process with the character. That's what I find to be fascinating. By able to go in and really develop the why and the how of the character. That to me is better than just having that be the blank Boy Scout slate to start from there. Now, Moisture here for $2, man. Thank you. Says Captain America is Boy Scout Superman.
He's right. He's a modernized Boy Scout character.
He is a boy. Yeah, and guess what? And people fucking love him. But
you can apply some sensibility to Superman.
Well, here's the thing with that though, right? People love Captain America because Captain America fights real threats. Captain America fights ground level threats. Superman would fight extraterrestrial threats or something like super-esque villain shit. Okay. I mean, okay, here's the thing. You guys were talking about this on another stream earlier about I think on Ty's stream, phase 1 movies that like were an outstanding success. Right. And I think you mentioned Captain America, but again, it didn't make as much money as it did down the road.
No, it didn't. But I'm saying in terms of like movies, like it's one of my favorites.
I love Joe Johnston did a great job with that movie for like coming in and doing it I love that movie, dude. I love phase 1 films. I even love, The Incredible Hulk and everything else. Like I love phase 1, but in phase 2, Captain America, the Winter Soldier was a political thriller. It was a political thriller, but it still tied into the elements of our times. What exactly is Superman going to do that's going to tie into the elements of our times? Is he going to reverse global warming? Is he going to be able to stop terrorism? Is he going to be able to, reverse inflation? Is he going to be able to stop COVID? Like, what is he going to be able to do that's going to be able to be seen as a world-saving event that's going to be able to tie in with our world? Back in the 70s with the Donner stuff, that was a lot of like optimism back then, coming off the Vietnam War, coming off of other stuff. We're well past that now. We are deeply cynical people. And it's not, and I saw the comment there about being like jaded and shit. It's not about being jaded. It's about being given a story that is compelling and can connect with the general audience, and that will have, real world ties. And that is true. People want that kind of stuff, especially in these superhero movies, because they're meant to showcase the best of us overcoming the worst machinations of our society. So that's why I liked what Zach was doing, because he was breaking the character down and building the character up.
I wanted to mention just really quickly. There is a way you can have Superman fight ground level threats. There is like Superman versus the Elite, which is it's like it's not completely ground level, but it works really well. And plus two, there was a great comic book actually that came out a couple years ago called Superman Smashes the Klan. It's Superman going up against the Ku Klux Klan, but even though it's Superman, it was a really compelling story. And that's the kind of story that's ground level to where you can actually execute that, because you have to remember, Superman doesn't just fight extraterrestrial threats. He also fights for the soul of a country in a lot of ways too. Like kind of like the soul of the American people and just like the humanity of people around the world. Right. Yeah. So there's like interesting ways you can approach it from that point of view as well.
That could be something. All right. I mean, seeing seeing Superman like come on in and stop January 6th or some shit like that, that would be funny.
Well, no. I mean, we joke about that, but like that's kind of like what Superman Smashes the Klan was. It wasn't just about Superman standing up to the Ku Klux Klan and racism. It was just a great story about like Superman dealing with immigration and the fact that he's an immigrant relating to like these Chinese immigrant characters. Like it was really a compelling story. It was really good.
Well, Neon Sci-Fi here says, don't forget that Superman was American propaganda and they had to modernize him. Now he's an undocumented immigrant, an outsider. It's hard to make him a Boy Scout.
But that's, I think, was like such a great aspect of the character though that gets missed. He is an immigrant. Tell more stories from the immigrant perspective. Like, cause think about that, really.
Well, okay. So, see, here's where we get into the weirdness of the immigrant side of things. He's an immigrant that he's a dreamer. If we're going to associate him with current political terminology, he would be considered a dreamer. Where he came here, he was raised here. He is American, but he is not a citizen. So calling in an immigrant story doesn't really apply to that. It doesn't apply to that at all, because he was born, he was not born here, but he was raised from days old in Kansas with a loving mother, a loving father, a stable upbringing, school, education, eventually a journalism degree, and then he moves to Metropolis to pursue that particular career. There was no struggle or strife in that regard.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Maybe you modernize it by showing more of that struggle and strife, to where maybe he grows up with the Kents, but they're not like farmers. Maybe they're like really poor city workers or something.
Oh my God. Okay, come on, dude. Do you really think for a second that the purists out there would be okay with like him moving to Queens as like a small child and like, once Pa Kent dies and living there with Ma Kent, and he's just like,
maybe that's what you need, though. Maybe that's what you need, right? That's what I'm saying. Like, emphasize the immigrant perspective of the character. Make changes to address your criticism and your ideas, Matt. But really emphasize that aspect of the character, because it's something that hasn't been tackled before and could help modernize the character and add new context that could really help make a new film version stand out.
Maybe. Look, the idea of what Ta-Nehisi Coates is working on with that like civil rights thing is interesting, but just depower Superman. That's all I care about.
No, don't depower him. Just
depower him. No, I'm not saying remove his powers. I'm saying like, dude, what we're talking about here is not introspection through thought.
Hold on. Magic's another weakness.
Come on. No one's going to buy Superman versus Magic, dude. I'm telling you.
That's Black Adam, though.
Yeah, and no one's going to buy it. I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you right now, they have done such a horrible job with trying to establish that side of the universe. If The Rock doesn't nail it, doesn't knock it out of the park, it's just no. The DCEU has not established magic really. You have Shazam, that was 3 years ago, but that wasn't still, again, like as part of everything. It's not like established that's going to hurt Superman. Everyone knows that kryptonite is what hurts Superman. That's what hurts Superman. So coming on in now, going like, but also magic.
You have
but
to establish that though, because it is true. He is weak to magic.
That is just, I mean, I know.
Because then you can make his villains more threatening, because you could say, well, maybe they have like some kind of magical property to them. So it adds to the threat level to where it's not just kryptonite.
They did depower Superman and watch Superman and Lois. Superman gets whooped every time. I'm okay with that. Let's see. Superman versus the Elite demonstrates the importance of the restrained ideal Superman versus newer, more violent and popular anti-hero types.
It does, and it's amazing. Seriously, watch that animated movie, Matt. It will really change, I think, some of your perspective on the character. I really think it would.
I don't know. Again, I look at it and I just go like, I look at any character. That's why I think I like Homelander so much, is because Homelander is like, what if Superman was evil? But he's got a lot of interesting aspects to him. And
he's really not a Superman archetype, really.
No, he's the opposite of the archetype. He's the opposite of the archetype, right? Superman doesn't want to be the center of attention. Homelander wants to be the center of attention. Superman doesn't require people to love him in order to feel complete. Homelander requires people to love him and worship him. That's the whole point of the last. Have you gotten to the end of season 3 yet?
Not yet. I'm still catching up on season 2.
Wait till you get to the end of season 3 and you will see that come to fruition. Yeah. In a way you're going to be like, oh shit, it's going to go off next season. What I mean by that though is like the character, it is the antithesis to Superman. And I think he's just a more interesting character. I think Cavill going up again on the human level introspection with what BVS had established, I thought was great. I thought bringing him back in Justice League Snyder
I'm just saying, Matt, your assignment needs to be to watch Superman versus the Elite.
All right, I'll give it a well. I do need to watch more content, so that is true. But again, I just kind of feel looking at everything, it's like, yeah, it's like the character himself. Here's the thing. If whatever The Rock is doing decides that they want to go in opposite direction of the arc Cavill was on with the Snyder Cut and they bring him back, I don't think that the Snyder fans will accept it. I don't.
Well, they can hardly accept that Shazam may reference the Snyderverse. Like they can barely handle that. So.
Well, no, wait. Oh, sorry. Here, hold on. Batman is boring at his core. No, that's that's a bad argument.
Well, I have a question then. Like, play devil's advocate for a second. Why is it that Batman you think is better than Superman right now? Then
Batman has always been more. Batman? Yeah, fine. Batman has always been more interesting than Superman.
Armor. He has plot armor. That's like the whole joke.
What the fuck do you think? What the fuck do you think Superman is? His entire existence is plot armor.
But no one gives Batman crap for that, because Batman does the same thing. Oh, Batman beats somebody. Why? Because he's Batman. That's why.
Batman beats somebody because he is smart.
But Batman, that's the thing. Like the writers make a joke out of that because he's so much better than everybody at everything.
Well, if you are that intelligent, you are generally that much of a douchebag. That's pretty true. Right? Because ultimately Batman thinks he's better than everybody while trying to maintain the idea, lie to himself that he isn't. But in reality, he is, because he's a vigilante. So he is kind of judge, jury, and executioner to an extent. So that is the core ethos of Batman. He wants to fight crime to make up for what happened to his family. So Superman wants to fight crime because he thinks it's the right thing to do. Batman does it because there are internal motivations, psychological motivations, and a lot of emotional trauma. Superman doesn't have any of that emotional trauma. He was raised in a very stable, good old-fashioned Midwest Christian values family. And that right there is unless he was being molested by the priest, no one's going to sit there and look at the argument that you're trying to make about this and go, yeah, no, he's got complex issues. Batman represents the darkness in all of us. Now, you could argue that Superman represents the goodness in all of us, but the darkness in all of us is a much more compelling story because we're always on the edge, right? It's a whole niche quote. Okay, be careful not to stare into the abyss because the abyss might stare back. I am paraphrasing, but that's, the whole argument there. So Batman is the niche quote. That's his that's his whole thing. All right. He stares into the abyss, wanting to fight the abyss, but he always has to fight back against becoming the abyss. And that is a trait that humans inherently deal with on a day-to-day basis. Batman is always a more interesting character because his villains are always about, like, look, the thing is, I think DC villains are usually about ideals versus like their complaint against like the system, whereas Marvel has, I think, more grounded villains. DC's are more about like challenging certain ideas and stuff. And I think that's fine. I always find DC villains to be more interesting and compelling than their heroes. So I think the fact that Batman kind of straddles that line is what makes him a more compelling character. Superman, again, it's like, and go back to like him actually.
There's just a lot of like, how do I put this? I'm not trying to like dismiss criticism because I understand. It's just like, I just think that a lot of people like are very biased when it comes to this character and just have like this like innate misunderstanding of the character because the representation of media has been so bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, because the representation media has been the greatest lately, it's just like there's just a fundamental lack of understanding of the character, who the character is at its core.
But whose fault is that?
No, it's Warner Brothers. It's Warner Brothers' fault. I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying that's just kind of where we're at.
Yeah. Well, real quick here, we got Jess here for $5. Thanks, buddy. It says DC gods and monsters displayed a Superman who raised by Spanish immigrants. Then again, that is Zod's son. Yeah, it's an Elseworld.
Well, it's an Elseworld story, but like that's happened before, So
yeah, but again, like Elseworld. This is the problem when you start really going into Elseworld's territory, because it really conflates the idea of what a character is or who a character is, because you're like, well, this character did this. Like, yeah, but that was an Elseworld story. That's not canon. Well, does canon really matter? To a lot of people, canon fucking matters. In fact, in this genre, canon and continuity 100% matter, at least in regards to a visual medium like television and film. Comics, you have the opportunity to kind of like really dive deep into the introspection of the character with their own internal monologue and things like that. And then you can tell the story over the span of many, many months or many, many years, however you want to do it. Movies and TV, you have to convey that shit super fucking quick. So when you talk about the character of Superman from comic to screen, whatever introspection he has, that is very difficult to convey. Because I do think that a lot of people look at the idea of a man who is impervious to everything outside of a rock from his home planet and fucking magic as being something that is difficult to relate to. And I know if Enosh was here, he'd probably want to come on and yell at me for saying that, but I think it's true. But then again, that's just my cynical viewpoint of the world, and that's how I take it. But I will watch Superman versus the Elite. I will watch that. I just, I will give it a shot. How about that? Is it on HBO Max? Because I was going to get HBO Max again for next month. Yes. I was going to get HBO Max again for next month because obviously House of the Dragon. And then two, they are, oh, did you hear about this? They are releasing on HBO Max all Game of Thrones in 4K.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
That's cool.
All right. Moisture here for $5, buddy. Thank you. It says, saying Superman sucks because of his media portrayal is like saying the Fantastic Four are terrible characters because of their previous films. Ooh, that's a you, RJ. Do you respond?
Well, okay, let me read that again. I'm not saying he sucks. What I'm saying is that the issue with the character, I feel like in the eyes of a lot of people, is purely because of the bad media representation. The Fantastic Four actually have the same issue. A lot of people think that they're boring and that they suck. It's not because they're bad characters. It's because the media representation's been so bad, right? That's the real issue here. When you have bad media representation, like with Superman and the Fantastic Four, it kind of twists and turns the perception of those characters in the eyes of the public. Therefore, it causes a lot of issues.
I mean, I can see. So
you have to like redeem them. They need to redeem those characters now. That's why it's going to be so important that they make sure they do justice by the Fantastic Four. So,
I have a feeling they will. I have no issue on that front because they know they can't really fuck around, right? Like with that. They can't like really fuck around with the fan. Like they need to make that work. Although with everything else that they talked about yesterday, I mean that wasn't even like the biggest announcement of the day, which we'll get to. But what I wanted to do was take a look here at the Black Adam teaser, and to see how you guys feel about that, because we didn't really get the chance to talk much about it yesterday.
Yeah, we really didn't actually.
So
because there's just a lot going on.
I
wanted to rewatch this again. So
yeah. So I will say, I'll start out. I'll just say this off the bat. I think this is a much better teaser than what we got last time, and it definitely has some fun to it, and I am looking forward to seeing it. Although I have not necessarily updated my theory or my prediction about box office, but let's give this a watch.
My powers are not a gift, but a curse. Born out of rage. Black Adam.
You believe you are not worthy, but you have two paths. You can be the destroyer of this world, or you can be its savior. The world needed a hero. Instead, it got me.
All right. I mean, like, it looks like a lot of fun.
It looks great. Honestly, I think it's gonna be good. Honestly, I mean, I love the stuff with the JSA. I think they all look amazing. Honestly.
No, they do look. The seeing the updated effects looks pretty decent. Sorry about the lag on that one. Again, I have no control over any of that. It's like it's fine, and then StreamYard just goes nah. So that's unfortunate, and I hate it. And yeah, that's why. Anyway, I'm not happy with StreamYard half the time.
I was silent most of the time because I was also updating the view count math stuff that I was doing for the past trailers that came out yesterday. And Black Adam is barely at 3 million for both YouTube and Twitter together.
Well, they said they announced that overall that trailer has 20 million views across all social media platforms. 20 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that means the other 17 million is on Instagram and Facebook and whatever else.
According to Rational here, Cavill signed a deal with New Line, and he's in it, and they're being tight-lipped. Where did you get that particular piece of information?
Yeah, I would love to hear that.
I'd love to see that right there. Yeah. Anthony Cheeseman asks, who's directing this? It's the guy who directed
Jungle Cruise.
Yeah, the guy who directed Jungle Cruise. So the color palette is very similar.
Yeah.
Between the two, it really is. The color palette between Jungle Cruise and this one look very similar. It's like I wouldn't be surprised if it was the same cinematographer. So
me neither. I wouldn't.
Hans here says, looks all right. Probably won't see it. I mean, it will be on Reddit DC Leaks. Come on, man.
Yeah, I don't buy that. Sorry.
Like DC Leaks, I mean, I've seen so much crap come out of DC Leaks on this one. You know, that's fucking like, yeah, I am subbed to them, so let me take a look here at if I could find what you're send me a link to that particularly.
The cinematographer for this did Joker, like majority of Todd Phillips movies, and also did Godzilla King of Monsters, The Hangover, of course. So and he didn't do Jungle Cruise.
Okay,
that's really surprising.
I mean, the cinematographer for Joker was really good.
Yeah,
so there was some really solid cinematography in that movie, and like The Hangover had some good stuff on there as well. What else did he do?
He did Garden of the State and Godzilla King of Monsters.
Oh, dude, King of Monsters had some pretty good cinematography. That movie was just fucking fun.
It was a really fun movie.
I really enjoyed. Yeah, Godzilla King of Monsters was fantastic. All right, well, hey, according to Deadline. They are still going to be pushing Fandom this year.
Do we trust Deadline though?
Well, I mean, like
they got the last thing wrong. That's why I'm asking.
But also, it seems like they're assuming that since it's been like that for the past 3 years. What the way they word it. So.
Well, yeah, I would argue. I think that they probably would end up doing DC fandom again this year because, for one, it doesn't cost that much to do, and they.
To me, I think they need a DC head before they do DC fandom.
They don't need it. No, they're not. They don't. If they're just talking about their upcoming, they're not going to give a roadmap though, Caden. They're. If anything, they're going to. Hold on.
But to have a confidence, like for people to have confidence in that DC fandom, even if you're not announcing new things, you still need someone to be like new to it and be like, oh, this is how we're going to continue marketing these movies and stuff. And
see, I disagree on that one because no one cares. There's no Fiege over there, and everyone knows it. So if they introduce a new Fiege type character, it's going to take time to build trust, and that trust is not going to be there this year. That trust is not going to be there next year because they're not going to be able to get anything off the ground until 2024, 2025 at the earliest.
So I have a question then, right? And this is like not me trolling. I know I've been trolling like the last couple of days saying, oh my God, DC's dead, DC's dead, DC's dead. Here's the thing though. Okay, so we know that Blue Beetle was like their last movie dated for 2023. We're going to be like halfway through the multiverse saga by next year. Or at least we're going to start about being at the halfway point. DC's so late to the punch, they haven't even gotten one saga done yet. I mean, like, what do they do realistically? Like, how do you not look at the competition and be like, what the fuck? You know, like...
Well, I think they're trying to... Yeah, I think they're trying to ultimately just, like, do their own thing and, like, figure it out as they go along. But, you know, I was talking about it with Geekdom 101 today, and he kind of brought that up as well. And I simply just said, what they need to do is go where Marvel isn't, right? Because what's that old, the Gretzky quote, right? It's like, don't follow the puck, anticipate where the puck is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a great quote from him. They need to anticipate where the puck is going to be. That's what they need to do. Well, I'm telling you guys, and I've been saying this, fucking animation. Ditch live action, go animation, because Marvel is not there. They're not going there. If you could, again, like,
I mean, they're doing animated series that are getting more and more high budget and being considered like important to the overall continuity.
What, Batwheels? Did you watch the trailer for Batwheels?
No, I'm talking about Marvel. I'm saying Marvel's getting
Marvel. Yeah, Marvel's going into animation that's going to be used to fill out the MCU. What I'm talking about is the DCAU, and that's it. Because, you know, it's like not everything is going to be like the same style of animation. It is a Warner Animation Group is pretty decent, and they've got a lot of talented people there. And
they clearly don't put enough money into it.
They don't, but clearly, like, look, man, go back and look at some of the, you know, go old school shit in regards to DC animation. The Dark Knight Rises, or The Dark Knight Returns. Sorry, Part 1, Part 2, Mask of the Phantasm, Return of the Joker, Flashpoint. I mean, I could list them a whole bunch more. Even Superman versus the Elite, as was mentioned earlier. Animated movies that actually have a decent budget, a consistent storyline, consistent continuity. So much easier with fucking with animation than it is with that, and be released theatrical. I mean, if they're gonna do
can't it be argued though that live action's where the money's at right now though?
No, because if the billion,
you want to see the stuff being like they want to see the grand spectacle with live actors.
They don't. I guarantee you the vast. They can go to Marvel for that then. But they could probably get something just as great with fucking DC with animation, because if the Minions
Does it need to be
movie,
like 2D or could it be like 3D photorealistic?
No, like 3D. Well, you could do photorealistic. The technology is there. You know, Unreal Engine 5, you know, is going to be able to be a lot of that stuff.
Motion capture stuff.
You know motion capture. Yeah, you could do mocap. You could do whatever with it. You can make it look at the Love, Death, and Robots. Right. Look at the stuff they've been able to do with that on like a small budget or smaller budget. And really interesting experimental animation. And imagine like, you know, them taking like the world of Batman the Animated Series and Superman the Animated Series and Justice League and expanding that into a fucking 3D environment, you know, with consistency of animation. Dude, if fucking Pixar movies can cross 1 billion, if fucking Minion movies can cross 1 billion, there's literally no fucking reason why a Justice League animated movie done well, written well, that could not cross $1 billion. It would be significantly easier for them to accomplish and quicker for them to accomplish, Because again, Warner's is even going down the route of doing a Lord of the Rings anime that comes out in theaters, next year?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, it's not out of the realm of possibility. If we spend all this time bickering over live action, they could easily tell more compelling stories with animation. I mean, fuck, dude. You fucking hated the Avatar movie, right? The Last Airbender movie. Now, I know, not a good movie, and I like to give you shit over it.
Oh, it's fucking horrible.
It is bad. Like, there's no way around it. But what I mean by that is, like, you watch the show, right? Are you excited for there to be like more animated content coming out from that's in the same vein as the show? Like, did you like The Legend of Korra?
Yeah, I love Legend of Korra. No, actually, that's a great point because Avatar Studios is making theatrical animated movies starting in 2024 with like a movie that takes place like after the original Avatar The Last Airbender series, following Aang and Team Avatar as adults, which is like what everyone's wanted to see animated. So that's going to be pretty decently high budgeted, and it's probably going to be awesome. So
yeah, but that's the whole point, though. And I understand animation takes years. I get that. But so does live action, right? It still takes years, and there's a super chat at the beginning from Blue Jay that we're going to get to when we get to the Marvel stuff that really kind of ties into it. And it's about VFX and how, again, this stuff all takes time. But do
you feel like DC lost, though, this year? And like how badly did DC lose?
Well,
because we all know Marvel won.
We all know Marvel won. I just wanted to have a bit of a cheeky time with the thumbnail. And I'm just going to say, it's a cute thumbnail. I like it. They're happy, even though there was only one victor. But what we can do is take a look here at the Shazam Fury of the Gods trailer, because I do like this quite a bit. And everything else. But also here, just because Moisture for $5, thanks, buddy, says DC Films should be its own production studio like Marvel Studios and plan out their universe with a parliament of creatives. Well, they should.
It takes so long. Though.
They should
take a long time.
But the thing
this
is,
isn't just something that's an easy fix. This is going to take a long time.
Well, it's honestly, I think someone said it. I forget who said it, but they had the greatest opportunity in 2005 to do this with Nolan, to create a universe with Nolan. But Nolan has his whole gripes and stuff with universes and didn't want to, but ended up doing a trilogy that, whatever. Like, they should have just been like, I don't care. We don't care what you think about universes. You're going to start our new DC universe and start from here. And then have Brandon Routh be that Superman of that universe as well. And then have, no matter what people think about the Green Lantern movie, have a good Green Lantern movie with Ryan Reynolds. And then, boom, you have Christian Bale as Batman, Brandon Routh as Superman, and Ryan Reynolds as Hal Jordan as and then have, if whoever was going to be the Wonder Woman of that time, and then start from there. Like, no matter how bad it was going to be the first phase, but at least you'll be growing. And then at least you'll also beat Marvel to the punch. And you're now not catching up with them now. So it's like, it's one of those things where, like, they had the opportunity way before. And they decided not to because a director doesn't like universes. And doesn't like building up to things. Worldwide build up. And so, again, F your gripes with universe building, F your gripes of working with other directors, Bale. You're going to work with other directors, and Nolan, you're going to build this universe. Like, do it. But no, they didn't, because, Nolan doesn't like that. And Bale doesn't.
Well, and Nolan, and they wanted to give Nolan everything he wanted. Never mind, it was a mistake. For The Dark Knight Rises. That being said, look here, Jess says, the problem with animation is that it's expensive and in Western culture is associated with being for kids. Yes, I know that's not that, but it has stigma. At this point, you're wrong. Kids have grown up. No, it's not. If Demon Slayer if Demon Slayer can come out and be the top grossing film in America in 2020, fuck that noise. That's a bullshit argument. Animation will be able to service a lot of people.
No, I agree. Animation's for everyone, but there will still be people within the general pop culture conscious that view animation as something for kids or for like adults.
Then word of mouth would bring them in. If done right, word of mouth would bring them in.
That's a hope.
That's a hope for everything, RJ. Word of mouth brought people to go see Top Gun Maverick. Word of mouth brought people to go see My Big Fat Greek Wedding. Go look up that story. It's actually really interesting. But it's like, I'm just saying, it's like word of mouth will move post the first weekend. So if you get people, if you go, it's Batman, it's Wonder Woman, it's Superman, it's Justice League.
Ralph's Double Tits actually does bring up a great point. When Dragon Ball Superhero comes out, I think it comes out next month. If that blows up the box office in like the top 10 in a significant way, then maybe you'll have a point. I think it will because Broly did pretty good, but it's it's only anime movies are part of big franchises.
Well, and Broly did well considering the Vic Mignogna situation. And it still sold well considering the Vic Mignogna situation. So people out there will buy it if it's good. People buy your music, not your words, dude. Like flat out. Like they will buy this shit if it's done well enough. But anyway, we can word of mouth moved The Sixth Sense. That is true. Word of mouth also moved Signs, by the way. This is true. Signs was one of the only movies I've ever come across in the summer of 2003. It opened at number 1. Its second week, it dropped to number 2. And then its third week, because of word of mouth, it moved back up to number 1. Crazy. And there might be lag right now. I can't. It's telling me there's
no. Yeah, you're fine. Okay. We were all just taking in the greatness and of wisdom words you were just saying.
Well, thank you. I try. But all right, let's watch this so my system stops screaming at me.
I'm an idiot.
It's showtime!
I don't deserve these powers, if I'm being honest. Like, what am I even contributing? Ow! There's already a superhero with a red suit with a lightning bolt on it. Aquaman is literally huge and he's so manly. And Batman is so cool. And I'm just me. I feel like a fraud. It doesn't matter. Anyway, the wizard gave me superpowers. And then everybody got superpowers. Where's everyone going?
To fight crime? Okay.
Now everyone's kind of like doing their own thing, and I'm the only one trying to keep it together.
You understand I'm a pediatrician, right?
Come on!
Now let's get down to business.
Listen to me, Billy. The fate of your world depends on it. The daughters of Atlas are coming for you.
Children stole the power of all the gods. This is very personal, Billy.
Look, I might not have as much experience as you, because I'm not super old like you. But I've seen all of the Fast and the Furious movies, lady. It's all about family! Family! Guys, that was a signal!
Introducing the star of our show! His name is Shazam! Now let's get down to business.
Your world will not survive this.
I don't know how we fight powers like this.
You think I know how to fix this dude, but I really don't.
Billy, everyone can be worthy. Let's give it a chance. Now go fight for your family. Go fight for the world.
I just threw a truck at a dragon. I love my life.
Let's get down to business. Let's get down to business. Can I get a witness?
And I liked it. I liked that one quite a bit.
Yeah, it looks like it's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
But it also has a feel of a smaller movie, which I think is good.
I mean,
and
people love it yeah.
So there's a lot of love there. There's a lot of people online have been really kind of going crazy for it. Now there of course has been the controversy surrounding the couple shots that we got, of the Justice League in the beginning of the trailer.
Didn't show Ezra's face.
Right, they didn't show Ezra's face. That is very true. And Aquaman, that shot was from the Aquaman movie and trailer, but the Batman shot was actually from the Snyder Cut. However, that was not first publicly shown in the Snyder Cut. Did you know that?
It was shown in the original trailer for Justice League at Comic-Con, wasn't it?
It was not. It was not. It was actually shown for the very first time in a teaser that Warner Brothers put out on March 23rd, 2017. That is where that image came from. It was announcing the trailer for Justice League. But that shot came from there, and of course it wasn't in the final cut of the Justice League version of the movie. But it did pop up again in the Snyder Cut. So people out there are thinking, "Oh, this is them acknowledging Zack Snyder." No, this is them literally looking for the coolest shots that they have of these characters. With in the case of Ezra, without showing their face.
Yeah, it's archive footage whenever they had available from like what existed before. The fact that people are like, "Oh my god, guys, it means it's restored," or "Oh my god, it means the Snyder Cut's canon." No.
Oh, there's been a lot of that coping. There's been a lot of the coping on that one. Well, a lot of people have been arguing about that.
Like I said, we could do a whole cope stream. I mean, my god, Teen Titans Go means Zack signed a new contract.
Oh, I know. Did you guys? Yeah. So Zack Snyder. This also came out yesterday as well. Zack Snyder is going to be in an episode of Teen Titans Go as himself, and certain people believe that this means that the relationship between Zack and Warner Brothers is repaired, and that Zack has now signed contracts in order to bring back the Snyderverse. #Snyderverse restored. That's what they say. Never mind, that's not at all how any of the industry works. So it's kind of ridiculous. But that's what they believe. That's what they're trying to argue. And we all know that, again, but here's the thing, right? If you want to go on that, well, what about James Gunn popping up in Harley Quinn? Because
it means the James Gunn verse is restored.
Yeah, right.
James Gunn's continuing at DC for a long time. That means, yeah.
Yeah, I
so
mean,
that mean that Mikey Sun was also wrong about James Gunn leaving DC after Peacemaker season 2.
Did he say that?
Yeah, he said after Waller, James Gunn's done.
Oh god. Okay.
Even though he legit said that he has 3 other DC shows in development or in different various stages.
He's literally going to DC for a while after Guardians 3's done.
Guardians 3 has already been shot. It's in post-production. He's working on that right now.
Once Guardians 3 is out, he's full on DC.
Probably because Warner's is going to allow him to also make the movies he wants to make when that's done.
Yeah.
Because Warner's is they are going to probably go back to being a director-driven studio.
He's also part of the Hanna-Barbera stuff as well, and the Looney Tunes stuff,
Oh, he's working on the Acme movie with John Cena.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. All right, I don't recall that. Oh, that's great. I think, dude, Cena is going to be really funny in that. So
yeah, he is.
So here's the thing. So kind of rounding out the whole situation with the DC side of it, the DC panel, we got those 2 trailers. No announcement for Henry Cavill. Deadline. Again, here's the thing with Deadline. Deadline putting that little piece of information in there, looking at how viewer Anon had phrased those particular posts. And again, I don't like to give a lot of credit to a lot of different scoopers out there. I really don't. But viewer Anon I followed for years, and the guy generally is pretty well respected, and I do trust his take on things. So if he had heard that they've been trying to get Cavill back to the table, well, they might have tried applying some pressure. And what I mean by that is it's entirely possible, this is just me theorizing, but it's entirely possible that Warner Brothers is who put that information to Deadline to get them to post it, that there's buzz about Henry Cavill coming back, in order to maybe put Henry in a position where he feels like due to public pressure, he has to sign and come back. Think about that for a second, because that kind of negotiation through the trades has happened before, right? Remember Spider-Man, where Sony was all like, "Oh no, it's Marvel's fault because they required way too much of Kevin Feige's time, and we couldn't play with him." So that's the reason why the deal fell through, and they tried to push that bullshit that nobody believed. So, I think it's like this. Well, Cosmic Gear says, THR and Variety are more legit than Deadline. Aren't THR and Deadline both owned by Penske Media?
Yes. They're all owned by Penske Media.
Oh, they are? They all are?
Pretty sure at least Deadline and Variety are owned by Penske.
Well, and I know Rolling Stone is, and apparently so is Grace Randolph. I've heard that little ditty. That apparently Grace Randolph is owned by Penske Media, so she's bought and sold by the man.
Which is weird.
These guys are just really dumb.
We are living in a weird time, but I would say at the DC panel, I did not hate it. I thought that the trailers were good. I thought that The Rock's opening was fantastic. That was a great way to kick off the panel. That was really electrifying. And again, I had called it too. I said they're gonna probably have a lot of smoke and lightning on the screen, and then he's gonna come out, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
But again, like the thing is, The Rock has basically said now he's the blueprint, and this is where things are going to go. Now, in regards to Cavill's going to want more creative control if he comes back. Working with $7 Productions, I don't think he's going to get that creative control, because I don't think The Rock is going to necessarily want to give that up, because, you know, if he has the plan and he wants to build towards JSA meets Justice League or whatever the fuck, that's going to end up being something that they're going to need to, you know, like really heavily build into.
Yeah.
But, you know, here's my question though. Who's going to direct the JSA movie? Is it going to be Rawson Thurston Marshall or Marshall Thurston, whatever?
Maybe.
Ralston Thurber Marshall. God,
whatever his name is, it's him.
Yeah, change your name, man. Let's see here. Jay David says Henry was at home playing Call of Duty, laughing his ass off. He was actually on set filming The Witcher, I believe.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the thing. 154 says your Cavill theory is 100% correct. Pretty much. I think I'm pretty good on that one. But let's see. Mo Moon here says give JSA to Spielberg. If anything, it's going to be Fantastic Four is going to go to Spielberg.
Yeah.
I think we can.
But let me ask you, like, because I want to get back to that question I asked earlier. Like, how bad did DC really do?
They didn't. They didn't. They didn't do bad at all.
But like, how bad is the situation for them right now, though, in comparison to what just happened today?
It's not today with, or you mean yesterday?
I mean yesterday, Marvel. Yeah.
I don't think they're in a, like, here's the thing. Nothing DC did move the needle one way or the other. I mean, maybe an inch forward or whatever, but they're still in the same position that they were. You know what I mean? And I know William has said, like, if you're going to go to Comic-Con, you know, bring your A game, bring these people. It wasn't about that. This was a New Line panel. This wasn't, they had billed it as Warner Brothers theatrical, but it was a New Line panel. So it was definitely different than that. And they're coming in there to pimp up these characters. This is who they want to showcase to the world. Having Superman or Batman or Wonder Woman would, or Hal Jordan or whomever, or even Aquaman, would take away from trying to build up hype for these characters. On that front, they did absolutely fine. They had a great intro, right? The Rock's out there being his you know, magnetic personality self, right? It's great person, you know, all that. You know, I'm critical
personality where he connects with people.
Exactly. He's really good at that. He's really good. Like, I'm critical of The Rock, I'm probably more critical of The Rock than anyone else on movie YouTube. All right.
Yeah, you're like overly critical.
But I'm also heaping praise where it's necessary, where I feel he earned it. So you have to acknowledge that too, because I'm like, everyone's like, oh, I'm like, no, he did a good job. Like, the trailer was fire. His performance was great. He was really good at connecting with people, you know, and he tried answering the Superman question, but he gave an answer that was very political, and people kind of went, oh, you know, and then, you know, that's all it is. He understood the position that he's in. He's a businessman. He gets it. I will praise him when I feel he did a good job. Whether or not Black Adam blows up at the box office, that's something that's going to have to be heavily monitored, because
just
let me ask
of the YouTube and Twitter interaction of views and likes, it's not looking too good.
Well, here's my question. Do you think that Snyder Cut fans will sit this movie out?
No. Because of the rumor.
No, they won't, because they're going to want to see for themselves whether or not he's in the movie or not, or if there's any kind of tease.
Yeah.
I mean, if they find out
I will
ahead of
say
time.
this, though. I'm pulling back my $1 billion prediction.
Oh, fucking finally. Jesus.
Yeah, I think it's probably going to be about 500 to 600 million.
That's a hell of a dip.
Yeah.
Even with JSA?
I think it's be 650 to 750.
I'll be honest, like, I don't think that, like, listen, I think it was a much better trailer, but I don't think it made the waves it needed to. I think the marketing for this movie's still kind of been all over the place. So
because nobody knows what to expect. And
they really needed a fandom, like, badly. They needed DC fandom this year. Badly. So.
Well, we'll see if they do. I mean, again, I think they will. I think if Deadline's reporting that they will, then they'll do
and the
DC
Snyderverse
fandom.
will be restored there, Matt.
God, it's actually trending right now. Did you know that?
No,
What is?
Yes. Yeah,
it just went off my page.
Yeah, did it just go off the trending because it was on there for me before going live. It was.
There's a bunch of fast food restaurants that are trending.
Okay, that's what.
I
Shake
saw
Shack.
hashtag boycott Warner Brothers just trending.
That was trending today. That was trending. Yeah, I saw that.
It's not on my top 30.
I'm looking through right now. I don't see it in my top 30 either. We'll see what's for me say. Okay, yeah, I'm not seeing nothing there. It was there before going live. So people were doing the Restore the Snyderverse with a goat emoji, right?
Yeah,
or the goat text that they were doing.
But I don't see how many tweets there are. It's not showing me any of that.
So it's a situation like that where really there's a lot of people out there that are trying to argue it at the moment because look, I mean, again, in regards to the Snyder stuff, not trying to go too deep into it, that was a big L for the Snyder fandom yesterday. That was the thing. I think DC fans were okay.
If you were a Snyder fan, though, oh my god!
If you were, and how many people did you see moving goalposts and like coping and shit?
Oh, you guys got the Teen Titans Go.
Yeah, they got the Teen Titans Go thing, Matt.
Yeah, I know. I actually have a reason now to pay attention to Teen Titans Go. I'm gonna watch the episode. Sure.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's going to be fucking funny, man. I want to check that out. But I think again, there were so many people, and I've seen diehard like Snyder cultists who like I've gotten into with them, and they're like, they'll call me all sorts of shitty things, and I've even seen those guys go, "Yeah, it's over, it's done, let's just move on." And that's been
there was one person I saw who said it was over that I was shocked said it. On Twitter.
Yeah,
Caden knows who I'm talking about.
I know, and I was surprised because that person pushes it like crazy. And said it was like, and I was like, wow, like if he's saying that, then that's huge to me.
Because like I never thought that person would ever say that.
Hold on, put that in the side chat. I don't want to know who it is because I don't know if you want to say who it is, but I'm curious because I have a feeling I know.
Oh, I did.
Oh, okay. But here's a question for you before we move on to the next thing. Oh, okay. I don't know much about that person, but I know kind of what you're talking about. But here's a question for you. Do you think that if the long-term box office predictions for Black Adam are not great, right? Like you're talking 500 to 650 million somewhere in there. And I said about 650. That's what I've been saying for a while now.
650 to 750.
But do you think that if that starts failing to connect and failing to track and it's looking like it's going to not do well, do you think that The Rock would sign a deal to be in Fast and Furious 11 as Hobbs right before then to get people's interest into him going and doing for other franchises? What I mean by that is there's going to be enough hype for The Rock coming back to Fast and Furious that they may want to jump over to go see Black Adam.
I think if anything, if there is like a dip in predictions, like a month prior to the movie, I think what's going to happen is they're going to, if they have DC fandom, they're going to have a surprise announcement of Black Adam versus Superman as Black Adam 2.
It's not even. So what I think they might do also.
They'll say it, and
they'll still say it. Yeah.
Yeah, like, if it's looking really bad, they'll announce that Superman will be in the sequel.
Yeah.
Well, Henry Cavill. They'll say Superman. Will be in the sequel.
What they'll do is they'll do what Venom did. They'll do what Venom did, right? They'll host a fan screening somewhere. They'll have that as the post-credit scene. If that's true, if that's happening, they'll have that as a post-credit scene. It will leak out and it will fucking burn the internet. It will just hit the internet, spread like herpes. Everyone will be talking about it. And then that hype will then shoot up. Because remember, that's what happened with Venom 2. Yeah. If you guys, and there's, by the way, 145 people watching, please slap the like because I'm going to drop some truth on you right now. Fuck, Venom 2 was tracking for a $40 million opening, $40 to $45 million opening. 2 weeks before it came out, they had that fan screening in the UK where it came out that Spider-Man had a cameo appearance at the end of that movie. All of a sudden, that movie's tracking just skyrocketed, and it opened up domestically to over $85 million.
Yeah.
Because that Spider-Man hype in the last 2 weeks, it was like less than that. And the fact that Sony played it up. The fact that Sony played up in the marketing.
It was because of No Way Home coming out like a month and a half later.
There was so much hype for fucking No Way Home that this was like that was such a tie-in. And it made them.
They're going to announce Black Adam versus Shazam because Shazam 2 comes out 2 months after.
Shazam 2 might need the boost.
Well, it's like a month and a half later. Yeah, 2 months later.
Like, they're gonna be like Shazam and Superman are gonna fight Black Adam, but watch Black Adam and also watch Shazam 2 to figure out how they're going to fight.
Yeah, well, what they're going to need to do, here's what they're going to need to do. They're going to need to tease Superman and Black Adam, right? And then we're going to need to see him in Shazam. Like, see it.
Actually, I think you got that backwards. I think we need to see Superman and Black Adam, like a tease at the post-credits. I think in Shazam 2, we need a post-credit scene of either the Justice League or we need a post-credit scene with Black Adam. Maybe both.
No, I think they need to make up for what happened with the cameo at the end of Shazam by actually having him.
That's why I said the Justice League.
No, I think just having Superman would be okay. Well, okay. I mean, like, we know that there's some cameos. Like, I think I don't know. Well, I don't want to say. I don't want to say. I almost said it, but I don't want to say it.
I would have said this. There is going to be something really special in that movie, like a big character, like coming in as a supporting character. But it's not who you think it is, so I don't know if that's going to mean anything. But that could win some people back. They actually committed.
You've told me who that person is. Yes. And again, I'm allegedly on this one. But I will say, if that's the case, because I like this character quite a bit, and the person who plays this character, so I'm down for that. If that is the case, that will definitely move the needle a little bit.
Well, it would make up too for like the last time they had a superhero kind of teased, right?
Yeah, sure.
Full blown character.
Yeah, you'll get the full cameo, but that person is also going to appear in other movies as well. So that we know that has happened.
Right.
But I know, and I don't want to speak in these. I don't want to spoil it for anybody. I really don't want to spoil it for anybody.
We're talking like in riddles.
Yeah. So that's kind of where it's at. I just want you guys to know there's stuff happening that they're trying to do that I would say is probably what they should have done in the first place. But I think they're hoping that with Black Adam, Shazam, and The Flash and Aquaman, that they're able to take these 4 films and I think that's their roadmap. I don't think they've told us what the roadmap is yet. But I think that's their roadmap, like leading into JSA or whatever might come past it. And because I think they are aware of what fans want, but it's like they're just they need to bring in someone with a steady hand. And I don't know if it's going to be like I know we need to go to Marvel because we've been on DC now forever. But what do you think's going to, like, if they get rid of Hamada, like are they bringing a new DC head? Is that going to get rid of Hamada?
Yes, I believe it would.
Because they just signed him to another 3-year deal.
Well, notice too, they haven't been able to find anyone to replace him either. Though.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's not. Yeah, and the thing is, who would want to? Would you? I mean, it's like Lucasfilm and DC. Would you fucking want to? Oh, nope. But I had a thought. We'll move on after this. But I think I figured it the fuck out, dude. I think I figured out when we're gonna. I think I figured out how we're gonna see Superman again.
Okay.
All right. So I'm looking at this from as much of a business-based perspective as I possibly fucking can. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say this. You are not going to believe me, but let me explain before you refute, okay? It will be J.J. Abrams.
Oh, God.
Here's why. Okay? Here's why. 1, we know that J.J. and Bad Robot have had a deal with Warner Brothers since 2005, predominantly for television. Yeah. That re-up a couple years ago has not yielded really anything outside of Westworld, which is crazy. However,
but he's supposed to be developing this like Justice League Dark.
Yes. Yeah. Stuff. Well, JL Dark, and then Zatanna, I think, is also another one.
Yeah, that's but Emerald Justice League Dark corner of the.
Yeah, and then the new Constantine. But you're right; it's all part of that little pocket. Which I don't know. I want to see it. I want to see it.
At least do something.
Yeah.
I know the Zatanna movie and Constantine's are happening. Yeah. But like,
so let me go on because I see the chat's like no, but let me explain. Let me keep going here. We have to look at this from the perspective of someone like David Zaslav. Zaslav is going to go because there was that report, like, what the fuck has JJ done? Right. I mean, I'm paraphrasing, right. But there was that report that came out. So they go, all right, JJ, what do you want to do? All right. You're dragging your feet on this one. You're dragging your feet. Here's what we need. We need to find a way to reinvent or to reboot Superman. And you're already kind of working on this one over here. What do you got? Now you have to go back, by the way, here's where you have to realize this is something JJ wants, and maybe something he's been holding out for. Because go back to like 2000 and like 2003 when they were working on the Superman flyby.
Yeah.
Right? So hold on. So JJ Abrams wrote Superman flyby. And you know who was cast to play Superman in that movie?
Cavill.
Yes. Henry Cavill has been cast twice as Superman. Mick G did not want to film Superman Flyby in Australia. He refused to move to Australia for 6 months. So he dropped out of the project. J.J. Abrams, who is predominantly known for television, was like, I'll direct the movie. Warner Brothers said no because he was untested as a feature film director, which is why his first movie was Mission Impossible 3, which we all can agree was pretty goddamn excellent.
Yeah.
So, 100%. Yeah.
I love, that's my favorite of the movies is Mission Impossible 3. Well, okay, Fallout was really fucking good too.
Fallout 3 and 2 are like amazing.
Yeah, well, John Woo did too, and I mean, but then again, I'm a little impartial to like to Brian De Palma's film noir take on the first one, but I'm also a De Palma fan. But anyway, so JJ wants to do Superman. He's never got the opportunity to do Superman. But what else has he done? Well, he successfully rebooted Star Trek and Star Wars. Now, you may argue with the various levels of success that has come from those endeavors, but he still launched them. And still, right now, The Force Awakens is I believe, the number 3 or 4 highest gross film of all time.
Yeah.
Okay. And so Zaslav, let's just again look at it from a Zaslav perspective. Zaslav is like, we want to lower our budget. We've already paid for this development deal with Bad Robot and JJ. He wants to do Superman. Superman's been languishing. We need to find a way to work them together. Can we make this work? And I'm telling you guys right fucking now, if JJ Abrams directs Superman, you're looking at a $2.5 billion movie off of pure name recognition alone.
$2.5 billion?
I'm telling you right now, $2.5 billion. I'm telling you right now, $2.5 billion.
Big, but I don't think it'll be lower than 900 million.
There's no chance in hell it's going to be a $2.5 billion movie. I'm sorry.
Fine. I'll amend that to say $1.5 billion. How about that? 1.5 to 2 billion.
Maybe $1 billion if they're lucky.
All right. I'm telling you guys, look. You guys call me crazy. All right. I'm not going to sit there and say that it's the most fleshed out theory ever, but I'm not wrong in my data. I'm not wrong in my history. I've looked into this shit.
J.J. Abrams' name alone cannot make that a $2 billion movie.
J.J. Abrams, if they play up the nostalgia of Superman, if they play up the idea of Boy Scout Superman, and they play it up so well, and they will, it will do it. All right, because everyone might.
Nobody wanted Boy Scout Superman anymore, though.
I don't want it. But if you have a big enough director behind it, a named director behind it, rebooting it for the first time since 2013, when is the last time we saw a Superman standalone movie that's not dark and I want dark and gritty, by the way. That's my preference. But I think, like, again, people will go out to go see it. Superman Returns would have done well if people actually like really connected with the story. The story, like, you know, it was a land grab, right? It was a land grab. Is fucking what Lex Luthor was trying to do, right? So that's like, you know, the story was kind of dumb.
But but in all honesty, like, real shit here. Do you really think JJ's name has the same value it does post sequel trilogy?
I think
especially the Rise of Skywalker. Let's be fair.
I think the Rise of Skywalker is one that people will look at as being it got maligned by The Last Jedi, and I think most people out there know that. I think people realize that. I really do. I think people out there realize that The Last Jedi fundamentally harmed the franchise. But
he still made a really bad sequel.
He made Well, I think that was also something that was, you know, I think there was some Iger fuckery with that too.
That wasn't all, like, Rise of Skywalker was majority Kathleen Kennedy switching up on them like every day on set for like a lot of plot points. Like Daisy
Listen, I understand that, but the point still stands. That movie did not hit. Okay, it did not hit the way it needed to.
I mean, you're right. You're right.
Especially as the ending of a franchise or the ending of a saga, right?
You are absolutely right. However, the production problems on that movie, outside.
But the numbers for Bad Robot, #1 movie for Bad Robot is The Force Awakens.
Yeah, and even Star Trek and Star Trek Into Darkness. Star Trek 2009 did very well.
Like top 5 movies is Star Wars, Mission Impossible. Like Star Wars and Mission Impossible taking over top 5 movies for Bad Robot. Like,
I would say here's the thing. I would say that like Matthew Vaughn would also be a good choice. Matthew Vaughn would probably be my top choice. Christopher McQuarrie would be fucking excellent in the role.
I mean, like,
you know, like I could see like even like I think well, I mean, I was like, you know, like maybe someone like Anton Fuqua who I like,
it'd
but
be funny if it's J.J. Abrams and Toby Emmerich producing a Superman film starring Henry Cavill, directed by Christopher McQuarrie, written by.
It needs to be Christopher. No,
McQuarrie, and McQuarrie has history with Cavill after Fallout.
Yeah,
no, I know. So I'm saying McQuarrie needs to come in, repitch that movie with Henry Cavill to Zaslav for cheaper, and make movie magic, man. I'm telling you, Christopher McQuarrie, I think, is the perfect guy to reboot Superman. I like his movies quite a bit.
Also, potentially, how about this? So, what about James Mangold?
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Mangold would give us, I think, such a deep movie. I don't know why. I just feel like he would come in and just nail it, right? But Matthew Vaughn would make a spectacle film that would be a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah.
McQuarrie would have a very kind of like a very like realistically grounded action based, you know, story. A lot of like destruction. You know, definitely not fucking Michael Bay.
If it's Christopher McQuarrie, the villain will definitely be Brainiac. Like, that's like the type of villain, or like if he's going with like an alien villain, Brainiac, more grounded villain, it'll probably be like Manhattan Black, you know.
Yeah, something like. I mean, I don't know. All I'm saying is I'm putting out my theory for who's going to come next, and I think it's going to end up being JJ. You guys, again, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I'm not.
JJ or Greg Berlanti. Like in house, it's either JJ or Greg Berlanti. Out of house, it's up in the air.
I think, and I don't think they're going to give it to Berlanti, given how things have gone with the Arrowverse and how it's crumbling at the end. He's got to rebuild that for it to work. Now, anyway, Benson here for £5. Thanks, buddy. He says, Matt, if they give it a 45-day window and it won't hit 700 million, JJ doesn't have the gravitas he used to. Give it to George Miller for a real Superman, dude. Even like fucking Mad Max Fury Road, I don't believe even hit $700 million. The Batman had a 45-day window. It did $770 million. And so I completely fundamentally disagree. JJ has the gravitas with the general public.
No.
Yes.
Anymore.
100%, dude. 100% still has it.
He's lost luster.
He might have lost luster. This was also years ago. It's been coming up in 3 years now. 3 years.
3 years is not that long.
3 years is a long. Yes, it is. And for movies and whatever, yes, it is. All right. Absolutely is. A lot's happened in that time period. People will go and they'll think back to The Force Awakens and how much they like that movie. Sure. The Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, like I remember how it all led to nothing.
Well, whose fault is that? That ain't JJ, to be fair. That ain't JJ. Right. But then again, like I said, Star Trek, Star Wars. Also, he successfully rebooted both of them.
And Star Trek was left in shambles too by him, if you think about it. Into Darkness.
Into Darkness was really good. People just fucking shit on that movie for no reason in my mind.
It doesn't matter though. The franchise was hurt so bad they had to go back to streaming and reinvent it.
No, you're talking about Star Trek Beyond that was directed by Justin Lin.
He still left the franchise in a bad place after Into Darkness, though. We can't pretend he didn't.
Then they went. Well, no, because also I think personally the thing that hurt Star Trek Beyond, because Star Trek Beyond was actually a good fucking movie, right?
Oh, I love Star Trek Beyond. I think it's great
too. But it coming out at the end of July hurt it. That movie should have been either the start of summer or in winter.
Another thing is Daisy Ridley said that JJ planned a trilogy, Star Wars trilogy, and written scripts for them.
Yes, we know that. Yeah, we know.
Yeah.
So, but then again, yeah,
he plans, and so, but we don't know how. And like Star Trek was if he planned that stuff, then it was a good plan. But like, we haven't seen the Star Wars plan, so.
Yeah, I'd like to eventually see the Star Wars plan there. Yeah. Rational here for $2 says Man of Steel 2 written by Kevin Smith, directed by JJ. Fucking give it to me, baby.
Yeah. Honestly, I think like it's funny how 1996 late 96 early 97 Kevin Smith said this on Fat Man Beyond for Comic-Con on Friday, I believe, that he before he did Dogma, he was offered to be the DC head, and he was like he wanted to do it, but he was like, I want to do Dogma. Like that's like what I've been wanting to do since day one. Like that was a script I've written since before I came here, and I want to do that, and he did that. But I mean, I'm just just imagine if Kevin Smith said yes to that, where we will be now, with that.
Well, I think at the time Kevin was also writing Green Arrow, which had a pretty his run of Green Arrow did pretty well, and then I will say though, his Daredevil graphic novel was fucking great. That was really good. It's so much so that even they referenced it in the opening of the Daredevil movie. Mark Steven Johnson that was the opening shot of the movie was Daredevil injured on top of the church. That was from the opening of the Kevin Smith graphic novel. Yeah. And even Kevin Smith plays the coroner in the movie as a bit of a nod, the throwback to that shit. Yeah, dude. I actually bought that graphic novel when I was 18. I was visiting Portland from San Diego, and I just went by a comic shop and I found it there for I think $15-20 or whatever. And I bought it, and I had to go back to college, to high school. I was still in high school for another couple of weeks, but I had a Saturday school class because I'd missed to go to Portland, and then I read it during detention, and it was a great story. But anyway, why don't we move on? Matt, read a graphic novel. Whatever, dude. I'm still telling you guys. All right, I'm still telling y'all. JJ's gonna do it,
Matt. Just like you're wrong about the Snyderverse. Get it restored tomorrow, baby.
That means I'm going to be right. I've been right thus far. Anyway, so there's a... All right, so DC didn't have the greatest outing, obviously.
It got fucking destroyed.
It got destroyed, but RJ, I got to talk to you, though, about this Marvel shit, though, man, because you took a bit of an L yesterday, too.
Did I?
You got it. Oh, yeah. You were downplaying Marvel for days. You were downplaying Marvel for. You're like, there's no big announcements.
That was what we were told. We were told not to expect much. We were told to wait for D23 for the big announcements.
Who told you to wait for D23?
Deadline.
I don't remember. No.
Yeah, Deadline did downplay.
Well, Deadline said Henry Cavill was going to be there too. So can you really?
Variety also
take the L?
They said that to only expect Black Panther and She-Hulk, maybe one extra surprise, but they were saying if even a surprise, and so
so I went in with the expectation of getting trailers or maybe
45
a couple
days away from D23, FYI. 45 days.
Well, so think about this for a second, right? With D23, you've got Disney Plus Day is on September 8th,
where we're gonna get a lot of news then too,
and then it's D23 right after September 9th through the 11th.
Yeah,
and it's the 10th and the 11th is Marvel and Lucasfilm. So it's I my girlfriend, I told her, I was like, I kind of want to fly to LA, to see if I could go. I can't because there's no way I'll be able to afford it.
Well, it's also sold out.
Well, I might be. I am good at finagling my way into these things. So
can you finagle somehow for me to get in?
I could finagle. I don't know what I could even finagle yet. I'd have to look into it, but there might be some. I don't know. I probably won't because it's this far out. But I'd register. I'm just
as asking press. For you to hook up a boy,
Hey man, it's called register as press. That's it.
Yeah.
But you got to have a bit more of an established channel. So I think that's about it. But I mean, look, it's kind of like
come on, we look pretty similar. I can pose as Matt.
You could probably, you could grow a really shitty beard and just say that you've had a really rough year. And they'll be like, you got fatter and younger at the same time. It's the duality of life, man. Fuck. The skinnier I get, the older I look, the bigger I get, baby face. What can I say?
You're such an asshole.
Anyway, all right. Benson here for £2 says the person who took the L this weekend was Campia. I have no idea. I know we did a video.
No, Syl and Mikey took the biggest L.
Syl and Mikey took a huge ass L. But what did Campia do that was so bad?
Campia was hyping up Cavill's thing. He thought it was going to happen.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No. See, that's the thing.
He was very sexy. He really thought it was going to happen.
I was hopeful it was going to happen. I was hopeful it was going to happen. But I didn't want to play it up like that. I didn't want to I didn't want to like play it up in the way that it's going to be like, yeah, this is not good. You know, but no, man, we got ourselves.
I have to wonder if, because I know like, God sister, she's like major Disney, like her family's major Disney. I believe they go to D23 a lot, so I wonder if they've got tickets and be like, hey, can I have one?
I'm just gonna look this up here. D23 press. Right. Let's see. Press pass. Media D23. I'm just looking to see at this point. We'll dive into this. All right. Let's see. Oh, okay. Wow. Whoa. What? Oh my God. This guy's got to change his name. The PR contact for D23. I shit you not. His name is Jeffrey Epstein.
Epstein.
Seriously?
Seriously.
Can you pull it up?
No, I don't want to give it his email, his official email is there, but it's like
there.
But it's like, yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Jeffrey Epstein, get me into D23.
Yeah. Hey, Jeffrey Epstein.
I mean, I guess Jeffrey Epstein really didn't die. He works at Disney now. Oh my God, is that? Oh, I was gonna make a really bad joke. Never mind.
Considering that, oh my God, like, do not show that to the Fandom Menace. They'll just be like, see, Epstein works at Disney, guys. He's not dead.
Groomers confirmed.
Yeah, that's what they're going to do. Oh my God, I hate those people. Anyway, Moisture for 5, thanks, buddy. Says, Campia was saying Marvel wasn't going to announce anything and save it all for D23. Boy, was he wrong. So was RJ.
But I listened to Deadline and the trades, though. So I was going, and I was also making sure I didn't overhype myself and just went in as a fan.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, like, Campia predicted Superman and Deadpool. I predicted Deadpool. I'm a little bit surprised, but after watching it, I'm not anymore. But
Campia on Twitter said Marvel's Comic-Con panel was exactly what we suspected. New trailers and footage, details like titles and release dates of projects we already knew about. Avengers Secret Wars, unexpected bonus of additional Avengers. No big new casting, project, or director bombs. D23 will be crazy, though.
Oh, D23 has 6 other announcements. Like 6 project announcements, but like more info, all the other stuff they announced.
Wait a minute. Hold on here. He's saying that like
He's not taking the L. He's not taking the L.
He's saying that there was no big announcements.
He said no big new casting, project, or director bombs.
Oh, right. Project. Oh, the Avengers, Kang Dynasty, and Secret Wars.
He said that was the only thing.
But that goes against his whole post about there being like no big announcements. Daredevil, fucking all of Phase 5, 3 out of. He
said that again. These are just projects I knew about, with the exception of 2 Avengers movies instead of 1.
That is complete bullshit.
Okay,
I think he doesn't want to take the L.
This is. Pull my screen. I'm sharing the.
Yeah. Sorry. Here you go. Because I'm blocked by Campia.
Marvel Comic Con panel was exactly what we suspected. New trailers and footage, details like titles and release dates of projects we already knew about. Avengers Secret Wars, unexpected bonus of additional Avengers. No big new casting, project / director bombs. D23 will be crazy.
That is cope. That is grade A cope. John Campy, if you're watching this right now, because I bet you do. Cope, sir, and also unblock me on Twitter. You know why you blocked me on Twitter, by the way? Loki episode 3, because he said that it was bad, and I said you just didn't get it. That's why he blocked me. I'm not even making it up.
I mean, yeah, that's.
What do the replies look like? I'm curious.
Yeah, go show the replies.
Don't tell me that you knew about Daredevil will be 18 episodes long. You knew about Avengers Kang Dynasty. You probably even didn't know about 2 Avengers in 2025. These are other surprising to fans. Also, the Guardians 3 footage was damn emotional, and the Ant-Man 3 footage was scary. He says again, there are just details of projects we already know about and big expectations, exception of 2 Avengers movies instead of 1. Suspected, there were multiple significant surprises. The panel is legitimately spectacular. We no expect Marvel to destroy DC that hard, though. Disagree. No way you knew about the handful of things. Yeah, people are just
someone posted a meme picture. I'm just looking. Can you go
down? I thought
I'm not here on the replies because I wanted to see someone post like this you. Oh, there we go.
I wonder what the comments are on that video. Cosmic here says no Campia doesn't watch. I think he was going through this sector of things. He was asking for YouTubers to like give a shout out to, and he's gone into Max a couple times, and he's gone to Enosh and a few other people that we know. And I was thrown in there. I was thrown in there by a number of people. So I'm sure he's checked me out. But then he'll be like, "Oh, what's this asshole's Twitter?" And like, "Oh, fuck that guy," right? Because I've criticized Campia before, and I'm fine with that. I have a great community here. I don't need Campia. I have you guys.
I think Confirmation Avengers: The King Dynasty and Avengers: Secret Wars was the biggest news. It seems to confirm Kang will be the next big Avenger level villain. I suspect we will have several King variants leading up to the real big bad King. Should be exciting. And interesting to have 2 Avengers movies the same year. Okay.
Oh, this is interesting. This just broke by MTV News. Kevin Feige reveals that 2 characters are going to spearhead the MCU's street level events. Daredevil and Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Oh, is that why? Is that why I saw someone post earlier Daredevil Spider-Man? Like I saw that.
I'm putting in the private chat.
Okay, hold on. Culture Crave here. All right, I like Culture Crave. All right, Kevin Feige reveals character spearheading the. What does that mean?
Well, they're leading the forefront for the street level stories, I guess.
I mean, that's I'm okay, but I'm okay with that though, man. Like, I'm really okay with that because like I prefer the more street level stuff to like the cosmic side of it. And yes, that could tie into my whole freaking conversation about Superman from earlier.
He has a whole 3-minute interview if you want. Just like
yeah, but for some reason though, I can't. Okay, give my browser a second to play catch up. There we go.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and play it and just make it full screen.
Wants to play Ghost Rider. Like he like actively.
When did he tell you that?
Just like a week ago.
You guys just hanging with movie stars. That's what Josh does. Hey man, Ryan wants to be Ghost Rider. What else? Who else?
Well, we know Norman Reedus. So what do you think?
Gosling's unbelievable. Boy, that's a bad omen.
That is a bad omen.
Oh man, see, we're not talking. Ryan doesn't want us to talk about it.
He does want us to talk about it.
He does.
He actively said, "I want to talk about it."
Ryan's amazing. I'd love to find a place for him in the MCU. He's dressed up as Ken on Venice Beach and gets more press than giant movies coming out that weekend. It's amazing.
You gotta love Feige, man. You just gotta love him.
He's like a lovable uncle.
Congrats, man.
I'm like beloved. Everybody, like all the celebrities love you. I see you all over the place.
To me, that sounds like you don't get it. You're like, but I don't get it.
No,
I'm Kevin Feige, and I don't get it.
No, I don't get it. No, I do get it. No,
very sweet. That's very nice of you.
You've been around for a long time. You're like part of the family.
That's very sweet of you to say. Congratulations, all the big announcements today. 2 Avengers movies.
Yes.
Very exciting. Can you just talk scale for a second? Because Endgame was
scale.
Well, just Endgame was so huge. Yeah. Secret Wars has been talked about. Can you go bigger? Is that important to kind of be on that scale?
It's not. It's never about going bigger just to go bigger. Sometimes, by the nature of the number of characters that you have in the toy box to then bring into the sandbox of the story, things can get bigger. But the truth is, when we were doing Phase 1, Phase 2, and Phase 3, there were less projects over more years.
Right.
And they were smaller projects and individual character stories, and it felt appropriate at that point that after every 2 or 3 years that it took for a phase, we would do an Avengers film. Right. As 4, 5, and 6 were coming together, there are more projects in less years because of all the amazing stuff we're now allowed to do on Disney Plus, and getting characters from Fox, Fantastic Four, and Deadpool. That it felt like and certainly after Infinity War and Endgame.
Yeah.
That we thought Avengers movies aren't cappers. So many of our movies now, the Multiverse of Madness, what you're about to see in Quantumania, are big team-up films introducing big parts of the mythology, and that Avengers films really should be the capper to a saga, which is really all we wanted to lay the groundwork for today, is say we are currently in the midst of the multiverse saga, which will culminate into Avengers films.
I just spoke to the Russos, your buddies. They adamantly said they're not directing Secret Wars. Were they lying to me, Kevin? Do you have directors?
We do not have a director for Secret Wars, and you will see about some of the other director announcements at some point. But no, they are not lying to you. They're telling the truth. They're very busy running their Agbo empire, and the world is better for it.
Harry Styles. What's the future of Harry Styles in the MCU? Are we going to learn more soon?
Yes, the adventures of Eros and Pip is something that is very excited for us. And as you start to see, you talk about Ghost Rider, we've got Blade, we've got Doctor Strange, we've got the supernatural angles, we've got the street level with our announcement of Daredevil, and of course Spidey going into the street level heroes and cosmic, and that's where our friends Eros and Pip live.
Not to get greedy, but we didn't get a Young Avengers announcement today, and you're collecting all these Young Avengers.
We was sort of reminding people of all the amazing characters that we have introduced in Phase 4, and sort of where those characters go and how they form their own cliques. We'll see.
Good to see you, buddy. Thanks.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
The two big things to take away from, obviously, Daredevil is going to be one of the cornerstones of street level. Plus, Spider-Man. He confirmed Spider-Man is going back to street level after No Way Home.
Also, Ghost Rider is a big player in Supernatural.
Yeah,
I mean,
I want to mention too the Avengers thing. I think is really interesting. How do you guys feel about that? That he's saying that they don't feel the need to do as many Avengers films, and they want to save Avengers just for where they end the sagas now, instead of doing it as the end of every phase. So it basically means less Avengers movies and just making them like special events that like cap off a saga.
Yeah, I'm actually okay with that. To be fair, I feel like, look, I mean, I get the whole thing of ending a phase with an Avengers movie, like, you know, that's cool. But we're also at a point now where it's like all these movies are going to ultimately be team ups in their own right. You know what I mean?
I mean, he did say that too. He said Quantum Mania is going to be a team up. Strange was kind of a team up in a sense. He had a lot of characters and big events in that. Yeah, I would just love to like pick Feige's brain as to why he felt Phase 4 needed to end with Wakanda Forever though, because Wakanda Forever is like not like the kind of movie that ends a phase per se. At least that we know of, right? It's kind of like a very traditional standalone film. I don't know.
I would say that the reason why it ends that is because I think they realized, for one, remember, like they took all of 2020 off, right? And so in 2021 there was a litany of shows, a litany of movies. It was massive. It might have been too much. This year we've seen 2 shows and 2 movies, with one more show and one more movie coming, right? So they've slowed it down a little bit for this year. And that's going to kind of cap it off. But then next year, you've got Spider-Man freshman year. You've got the What If. Oh, no, freshman year is 2024, right? But you got like What If season 2.
And,
you know,
X-Men 97 next year.
Yeah, X-Men 97. So that's pretty big. And then you've got like, you know, Loki season 2. Whatever other shows. Oh, Echo is going to be coming out. Daredevil is going to be, well, that's early 2024. But then it's like you got other shows that are coming out next year. And that's a pretty big effing deal, right? Like that's a pretty big thing. So I think with a lot of people, what they're looking at here is like, they're just saying they're just trying, I think they're just trying to kind of like bring it back to a simpler time, if I'm being honest.
Well, the people in the chat are bringing up a good point. Yes, I guess if that is true and that is legit, which I think it is, I guess that would explain what they're doing. Matt, you know, the thing that leaked, that's true. About Wakanda Forever, the post-credit scene.
Right.
Yeah. If that's the case, then yeah, okay.
Oh, is that what I put on? Is that what I showcased?
I mean, you put it on a thumbnail.
I blurred it out, right?
I'm just saying if that's,
and it hasn't gotten taken down, So maybe it's not real. I don't quite know. Anthony here asks, in Spider-Man 4, will Daredevil be in it? You know what? Maybe. Yeah, man, probably. He was in the last one.
Listen, Tom Holland, this is a big thing too. People got to realize they're not going to do Spider-Man 4 for a little bit. I'm not anticipating until 2024, 2025. Reason being, it seems like not only is Tom Holland taking a break for a little bit, as he deserves to, but he hasn't even signed a new contract yet.
Well, that we know of.
But remember, he only has one more appearance on the contract that he has signed, but they are trying to sign him on a new contract. So where the hell is he going to pop up next? I have no clue. So
yeah, that is definitely.
The next appearance is a Marvel Studios film, I believe.
So which would probably end up being, you know,
I think it might be Fantastic Four. I think Spider-Man would be a huge assist for that movie, personally. I could be wrong though. Because I think they'll sign a new contract to get him for Secret Wars and King Dynasty.
That's I mean, maybe.
because I can't see them waiting that long to put Spider-Man in a movie, so because they need to keep him around. So I think he'll probably be in Fantastic Four. They'll sign a new contract after Fantastic Four. It'll be Spider-Man 4, and then we'll see him in Secret Wars or King Dynasty. More likely Secret Wars, though.
Most likely, yeah. I mean, I think he'll probably even be in both.
He could be in both. That's true too. I just think it may. I don't know. I mean, obviously these movies are like 3 years away. Let's hope that we don't all die in a nuclear war or something first.
Yeah, I saw Dane from I saw Dane Whitman saying that today. He's like, well, we could all die. That's going to be shitty. But like, yeah, right. I guess so, man. That's a thing. So again, so kind of getting mixed. I want to start kind of winding it down the next like 10 to 15 minutes because it is Sunday night. We have definitely seen quite a bit coming out of Marvel. Obviously, there's a fair amount there. But
what was your favorite?
I mean, we can get into it here because I still want to bring up some other stuff. But first let's talk about like what's coming. You want
to go through like the timeline of this year and like.
I want to talk about quickly bringing up. I want to get the kind of the sad thing out of the way. The Black Panther trailer. Yeah. We can check that out because this thing really made me emotional. Like I might have already been emotional from the Daredevil announcement because did you guys see my? Anyway, I think you guys did.
I did.
I'll play the TikTok here after we're done with or when we get to that part. But so this is the Wakanda Forever trailer. Look at this, 33.6 million views just on Twitter.
This shit blew up.
It's
crazy the viewership this got. It's amazing.
Everyone's looking forward to it, man. Everyone's looking forward to it. All right, let's go.
No woman, no cry. Little darling, don't shed no tear. No woman, no cry. Good friends we have and good friends we've lost along the way.
I really like the cinematography for this.
In this great future,
it's the cinematography.
You can't forget your past. So dry your tears, I say.
That looks just fucking cool, man.
That's like
very honestly, this is like not even hyperbolic. I think that is probably the best trailer they've ever put together as a company.
Yeah.
As a studio. Like that's like the best Marvel trailer they've ever made.
The song they chose, like
everything's gonna be all right. It's just like
which is very purposeful. That's very much intentional.
Very.
Not just because like Kendrick Lamar like did such a good job on the soundtrack for the first movie, but it's like it's almost like the trailer's like reassuring the audience like it's gonna be okay. We got this.
Okay. Yeah.
And listen, a lot of people have been very skeptical about this movie. It's had a lot of behind the scenes stuff too. I mean, Letitia Wright and all that stuff. And like just the notion of even trying to move on from Chadwick Boseman, which I know is still going to be controversial for some people. I know some people really want them to just recast the character and not try and you know, like, just don't retire it. But like this trailer, I feel like gives me the confidence that Ryan Coogler not only knows what he's doing, but he has a reason for it. It's going to be purposeful, and he's going to make sure he delivers on this. Because this, like, I make no qualms about this either. This looks like $1 billion movie. Like, this looks like I think phenomenal, 10 out of 10 kind of movie.
But if you have no Russia, no China, the thing is, it didn't release in Russia the first time, and Russia and then in China, it only made 107 million. So it doesn't matter without them.
It made more money domestically than anywhere else.
Yeah, that too. Like, and so it's going to make a lot of money. Like,
and again,
I mean, like how fast did the Black Panther make a bill? It was pretty quick.
It was pretty quick.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, I was there opening night. No joke. Opening night,
made $1 billion. Right?
Well, opening night for Black Panther, no joke. Like the line to get in the theater was wrapped around like the entire theater building. Like that's how big that hype was for that movie, where I lived. Right. So like this sequel, dude, all bets are off. It's gonna be huge.
Yeah, I went and saw Black Panther in IMAX with my dad, but I'd bought tickets like when it first went on sale. So like we had really good seats. We both really enjoyed the movie. I really like Black Panther quite a bit, and everything else. So you got there's a lot of good stuff coming out of that. Obviously, with everything they've got with Black Panther, it's going to be a fun movie. But of course, moving on, we've got.
Real quick, Namor.
Oh yeah, I know. I don't know much about Namor.
Looks fucking incredible, dude. The fact like you see him as like getting like you see it like the birth of Namor, him as a child and like as an adult, just everything about the way it looks, it's just so good. It's so good. I'm so excited.
I think they need to. It looks very solid. So, okay. Sorry, I just got a message. Let's make sure. Anyway, all right, yeah, let's take a quick look here at She-Hulk. This is the one that I think...
the trailer that made Matt try about jizz in his pants.
It didn't make me jizz in my pants, but it definitely...
Don't lie, we saw.
Dude, I don't jizz... The last time I jizzed in my pants was like 2007. Or 9. No, 8. Sometime back then. Long story, not going to talk about it. But let's watch this.
Still in control, no overwhelming feelings of rage.
No, a normal amount of rage.
You do revert back to Gen form when you sleep.
Was the air horn really necessary?
For comedy, absolutely. This is a multi-year journey you're about to embark on.
Yes.
Yeah. Who's your best friend?
Nikki.
Spandex. Spandex is your best friend. Being a Hulk asks for balance. You have so much more to learn.
Yes! So I'm clearly nailing it at all these things.
If you want to go back to your life as a lawyer, I respect that.
He doesn't mean that.
Yeah, that fourth wall breaking. I'm so excited for that.
More and more eccentric superhumans are coming out of the woodwork. We're going to launch a division for them. And I want the She-Hulk to be the face of it.
Jennifer Waters.
Namaste. I have a serious conflict of interest. This man tried to kill my cousin, Bruce.
Yeah, that's quite all right.
Oh. People only care because I'm representing Emil Blonsky. I think they care because they're like, hey, that girl's great. Jen, do your thing. God, I really like this outfit. I'm not proud of this.
Miss Walters, we answer to a higher power. Our universe is on the edge of a precipice.
I am a lawyer. We do things by the book.
The Book of Ashanti.
No, the Book of American laws.
Whether you like it or not, you're now a superhero.
Let's do this. You know that friend you had in high school who was way cooler than you were, attractive, got all the attention from everyone? Hello.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm jealous. Is that what I'm feeling?
Oh, still cannot wait for that Daredevil.
Yeah,
it's just like I just love that like Jen is just like her the comic counterpart as well, like where she is better than Bruce as Hulk.
I was gonna mention that too, where like people like were saying like maybe like it seemed like they're kind of like overkilling that a little bit because like the way the certain crowd reaction is gonna be like with that.
I think it's also to show that like, and also I think it's going to push Bruce in the finale especially, and I think that's like going to really anger him.
They got to do a lot to redeem Hulk. 'Cause a lot of people are kind of like,
I like Hulk. I think he's fine. I think people need to get the fuck over it.
I think
there's a lot of fans though who would disagree with you though.
I'm fully aware of that, as there are a lot of fans who disagree with me over my take on Superman. Again, all subjective. I will say though that the trailer looks really fucking funny.
How do you feel about the CG?
It has its good moments and it's got its wonkier ones, but again, it's still a trailer. That shit ain't all the way done yet. Because this shit was
also, if you see it like uncompressed in 4K, like the detailing looks a lot better. I don't know where you got that trailer from. It was
that was Twitter.
That was Twitter.
That was Twitter.
The compression on Twitter sucks. So I know a lot of people are like, the CGI looks bad. Please, guys, if you can find a 4K version, or look for some 4K images from the trailer. It actually looks a lot better. I compared like the 4K shot of some things that are similar to the first trailer to this one. There was an improvement. So,
oh no, 100%. There's an improvement. A lot like I keep saying, like there's like this, it doesn't look as great maybe as you'd want it to. I don't know, but I think it's perfectly fine. Either way, I'm down for it. I want to see it. I think it's gonna be great. Emil Blonsky, Wong. I mean, is it going to tie into Shang-Chi? Like, I mean, like clearly it's going to have to.
There's going to be a lot of cameos. This is going to be a very fun show with a lot of Easter eggs.
There's going to be some new characters that are, like, as we see, we have Manbull, possibly Mr. Immortal, which
Matador.
I'm not really excited that Mr. Immortal looks like an old guy, honestly.
Mr. Immortal was there?
Yeah, he's the guy that jumped out of the window onto the car.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, at least that's what's speculated. Because if that speculation is true, then I'm like, I don't like it because Mr. Immortal is supposed to be like a 25, 30-year-old guy, but
they showed Frogman. Frogman was there too.
Yeah, Frogman's there, and then of course the biggest one at the very end is Daredevil.
Yes.
And honestly, that Frogman scene in both trailers and the Daredevil scene look very similar, so I think it's the same scene.
Yeah, I think Daredevil's going after Frogman.
Yeah,
that's my guess.
So I think this is the right file. It should have worked. Then no fucking way. No fucking way, dude. Daredevil, Born Again. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Is that a movie? Is that a show? Is that a movie? Is that a show? Is that what the fuck? Okay, hold on. Then you got, hold on. Sorry. I'm kind of like, that fucking caught me off guard. Holy shit, dude.
A few moments later.
All right.
Right there, he jizzed.
Yes! Oh my god. Hell yeah, dude. There you go.
That's like a child going to Disneyland.
That was, I'll tell you, that was completely honest reaction right there. So there's that. Like, right. But no, I mean, like, look, I want to, for those of you guys who are watching it live, Ralph's Double Tits here says very cringe. A lot of people yesterday were telling me that they thought they liked the reaction because it was genuine. And I just wanted to share it. I thought that was pretty good. Because there's also a lot more stuff there to look at because we got, I just want to make sure. So we got this roadmap here minus the Thunderbolts.
Thunderbolts at the very end for July 26, 2024. I'm shocked I mean, this is like stuff we knew about, but now we know it's all Phase 5. So
well, because we thought it was going to end next year. I think, right? It's when we thought it was going to end.
We thought it was going to end next year.
We thought Blade was going to be the start of Phase 5.
Yeah, now it's not. No.
And now it's Quantumania. So and Secret Invasion. Secret Invasion and Quantumania at the start of Phase 5.
But you can see with Quantumania, they're going to be introducing Kang, so you can start and MODOK, yeah. So you can start to see
it
now.
It feels like Phase 5 is really where the story is going to really start picking up for the the saga.
Oh, this like Phase 4, like Kevin Feige said that it's all introducing new characters, and then Phase 5 is about executing all of that stuff that was introduced.
My only question is, and I know they already said they're still working on it, but where does Armor Wars fit into this? Is Armor Wars Phase 5 or Phase 6?
I think Phase 6.
Okay. Yeah, I think Phase 6, because this right here is just they could also. By the way, these dates are probably not going to hold.
Which ones don't you think are going to hold?
At least the streaming dates.
Look, you got everything up to the Marvels at this point. Is
I think Blade and Captain. I think the movies will stick to their dates, but
I think Blade because it's filming right now. Ironheart's filming right now. These are filming right now. Everything filming right now should hold to its dates. But Agatha
that hasn't filmed yet, though.
Yeah, these could potentially move.
Blade start filming like in October and November.
I thought Blade's filming. Blade's filming right now.
No, Blade. Kevin Feige said Blade got delayed to October.
Okay. But isn't Ironheart filming right now?
Yes, it is in Atlanta.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's definitely a lot there. That's either way.
Well, what's on the screen right now, Matt? I mean, out of this for Phase 5, what are you most looking forward to?
Daredevil.
Besides Daredevil.
Damn it.
Besides Daredevil.
Damn it. Besides Daredevil,
so number 1.
Guardians 3.
Okay.
I love the Guardians movies, and then probably that, and then Ant-Man Quantumania, because I do like the Ant-Man movies. I mean, the stuff that I'm like most looking forward to is the stuff that's continuation of shit that I already like.
Yeah.
Because like I already know generally what to expect. I just hope Quantumania is better than Ant-Man and the Wasp, which I feel was largely inconsequential outside of the Quantum Realm stuff.
I don't know if you saw the leaked trailer for Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania that's been floating around social media.
I tried to watch it, but I'm not going to watch like a sliver of fucking content there.
Well, yeah, I know. It's like 70% of the screen.
Jesus Christ. How... Yeah. I mean, like, come on. You planned that shit better. I was very upset. Whoever did that, they should feel bad. But I mean, it's out there, and they'll release it soon enough. By the way,
well, it looked like Peyton Reed really stepped his game up.
Well, after fucking Mandalorian season 2 finale, that bitch better. You know what I mean? Like he'd better. Not even just that episode, but the episode with the fucking spiders.
I think with Ant-Man and the Wasp, it was probably the writing, and I think the writing didn't help.
And they wasted Walton Goggins. They wasted Walton Goggins. I'm just that to me is unforgivable. Like, because you don't.
I think Walton
He's coming back though. He's coming back.
I hope so, but like, dude, he's such a great actor.
Yeah, which I'm glad they have Jeff Loveness to write Quantumania, because like Jeff Loveness writes good stuff.
What has he written?
Rick and Morty.
So Michael Waldron wrote Rick and Morty.
Michael Waldron, Bisha, KLE. Like they got a lot of Rick and Morty.
They have a lot of Rick and Morty people working on it now.
Like, all right, we need to find a way to really tell some good stories. Let's go to Rick and Morty writers.
Rick and Morty.
I mean, if you think about it, the stories are really interesting in regards to like science fiction and how they just add a lot of dick and fart jokes in there.
The Pickle Rick writer is one of the main writers for She-Hulk.
And Pickle Rick was a really interesting episode outside of the I'm Pickle Rick.
I'm Pickle Rick.
I'm Pickle Rick.
That's so crazy. Okay, that's actually really funny. We're going to like dive into this one night. It's just like ask Kevin Feige, just like, do you guys just really love Rick and Morty? Why are you hiring so many Rick and Morty people?
Well, Reed here says Kevin Feige mentioned Pickle Rick.
He did on stage, yeah, he did.
So it's like
the writer of She-Hulk wrote Pickle Rick. He's like, hey, remember Pickle Rick, everybody? She wrote that.
Look, that can either go real well or real bad depending on who you're trying to target. All things considered. Although, real quick, before we look at the phase 6 stuff, I just want to point out there's a great meme making its way around that I think is going to be a really solid indicator of the quality of Black Adam.
Fuck them kids.
Wow.
I saw that yesterday, so I stole it. Anyway, phase 6. That's a beefy looking phase from just the only 3 properties that we know.
I know.
So the top part is likely movies, and the bottom would be streaming, right, Caden?
Yeah, mostly.
They can go either way. They can go either way.
I think that's how they set up this phase. So, like,
because they're trying. I think now they're trying to do an even split between movies and streaming. Because phase 5 is 6 movies, 6 streaming films.
At the dates that they announced for phase 6 and 7, There's two 2025 dates that are one's February 14th, which is Valentine's Day, and July 25th. So February 14th is more spring, and
I'm thinking that Valentine's Day release date's Deadpool 3.
That would not surprise me.
It's
Being
going
Deadpool
back right
3.
to the release date of the first film.
Yeah, and that also puts it in an area where it's not going to have a lot of competition.
Right.
So you've got November 8th, 2024 is Fantastic Four. And then there's another one before that for fall 2024. That one I think is going to be a streaming show. I think that's going to be a streaming show.
Sure.
Maybe that's Armor Wars.
That could be Armor Wars. That could be Armor Wars. Winter 2024 is we got fall.
That could be Deadpool because
there's two. Yeah, there's two. Well, that's the thing. Is so you have two. You have fall 2024 and then fall 2024, but they're in Fantastic Four is in between those, which means that so you're gonna have something that comes out probably before winter because winter is technically December 21st. So I don't know if they're arguing on the calendar date of what the winter falls in on.
Yeah,
but
it's very
I would assume Armor Wars isn't the first one here. The second one there is probably going to be another show. We don't know yet what that might be. That could be freshman year. I don't think they're going to wait that long.
Yeah.
For freshman year, but I mean that wasn't.
If you notice, they didn't put the two animated series on the Phase 5.
Oh yeah, because those will come out kind of whenever. Yeah.
It did say that freshman year is 2024, and
so it'll be somewhere around here.
Yeah. It's probably the fall. So Armor Wars ends freshman year fall of 2024.
Well, here's the thing. Look at this here: Avengers, Kang Dynasty, and Secret Wars. Okay, so we got 6 months in between.
There's a movie between
There's a movie and a show.
It's probably the movie is probably how they did with Captain Marvel, prequel to something, and Secret Wars,
And the show could be literally whatever.
Yeah.
The show would have to make sense though because you don't release a show in the middle. I don't know.
Yeah, the show probably is What If Season 3.
Maybe.
Really?
Yeah. Well, they did. They have confirmed season 3. So.
Wild prediction, super wild prediction. Okay. That show at the bottom, summer 2025. Doctor Doom.
Oh.
I mean, maybe. But where's X-Men going to fit in this though, or the mutants, or whatever they're going to call it?
I don't think X-Men are coming till after Secret Wars.
I
know it's a hot take. I know
I
feel like Secret Wars would introduce the X-Men.
I mean, I get you. I do get you on that one, 100%. But
because I feel like they're gonna dip their toes with Deadpool and the mutants concept before going full in with Secret Wars.
Sure, that makes sense. But it's I don't know. They clearly laid the groundwork for the next couple of years of shit. H-Bart's Penson for $2. Thanks. I'm so used to H-Bart super chatting. It's a tick now. Anyway, thank you, man. It says Tony Stark returns in the Kang movie. I mean, maybe
Secret Wars.
Maybe Secret Wars
would be where they will return.
But that could also be.
Will show us a room full of stuff that Kang has taken from time, like a vault.
I think this is where we're going to get Tom Cruise as Iron Man.
Yeah.
I don't think I look. Here's the thing with this. I know people want Downey Jr. to come back.
I think Downey Jr. and Tom Cruise will come back.
That would be something. I mean, Feige could deliver it.
Yeah, Secret Wars should be like the multiverse movie to end all multiverse movies. So again, if you're gonna bring everyone back one last time, it'd be in Secret Wars. So that's just kind of what the promise of that is.
Yeah.
And what do you guys think? Okay, because they already have Phase 7 dates as well, which they announced yesterday too.
Wait.
Oh yeah, they put out. Yeah, do you have that? That was on.
Yeah. So it's well, hold on. You have to
hold on. I'm trying to. I'm trying to find it there. Hold on. I got the exhibitor. Really, I follow this guy. He talked about it. Nope. Wrong tweet. Come on. Where's it at? I'm trying to find it, guys. I'm sorry. There we go.
I have
Okay.
the article.
Well, I've got, damn it, where's that freaking image? There we go. Okay, so this is the tweet.
Yeah. Well, those are the dates of new Untitled. So what's the last? Is 2025 is the last date for? Is the last date for Phase 6, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's not the last date. This is the one for summer.
I know, but like 2025 is the last.
November 7th, 2025 is the end of Phase 6.
Yeah,
and the end of the Multiverse Saga. So all this would be kicking off Phase 7.
So 2026, the first day of 2026 is Phase 7. So, what would be the first movie of Phase 7? Like, what out of the gate after Secret Wars? What is a movie you want to be like as Marvel? Be the first movie after Secret Wars?
Wolverine.
Maybe.
I think it'd be Wolverine or an X-Men. Although X-Men could be a summer movie with that May 1st date. I'm telling listen, I know everyone's saying like, oh my god, like X-Men need to come before Secret Wars. I'm just saying, guys, I really don't think they're going to come until during the Secret Wars event. Like, you're going to get mutants. There could be a mutants movie where you introduce Charles Xavier. I don't know. I just don't. Because remember, look at the projects we know about that are happening for sure. You got to get another Spider-Man movie. You got to get another Deadpool movie. You got to get Shang-Chi 2, right? You got to get Wonder Man, the Wonder Man series. You got to get, what else, Caden?
Well, so you have the Shang-Chi sequel. You have two Destin Daniel Cretton series, which is the Wonder Man and
the 10 Rings show, yeah.
Yeah, so and you have Nova, the Nova show as well.
Right,
Nova. Nova's on the horizon, yeah.
You have 3 shows, 1 movie, at least one.
So a lot of those things we just talked about, that's going to take up those dates. So
and another Guardians, because even though this one ends, this story of the Guardians, they are going to continue with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what it'd be though.
I don't think you'll name it Guardians, honestly. I think you'll name it Annihilators.
Yeah. Also, Thor 5 will be in there too.
Yeah, 4, 5 for sure.
4, 5.
Yeah. Another Captain America movie, probably for sure too.
Probably not till Phase 7.
Think so?
You also have you have the Untitled Wakanda series. You have
that one too. Yeah.
You have Werewolf by Night. You have Shang-Chi sequel. You have the 10 Rings, Nova, Wonder Man, World War Hulks, the rumored Mutants movie, Annihilators, Young Avengers, Monica and Rambeau series, Ghost Rider, and Secret Warriors.
That's a lot. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I just don't think we're going to get to Mutants till Secret Wars.
That's like that's 9 to 10 projects in development. Like that we.
Well, do we know for sure Ghost Rider is coming, like as a show, or like is that really?
Well, I mean, the fact they were talking about Ryan Gosling and everything else.
What about Doctor Strange 3?
But the thing is
that will be in there too.
That Kevin Feige mentioned Ghost Rider is a major part of the supernatural stuff. But Spider-Man movies are dated and pitched by Sony.
Yeah, so because Sony does that, they can't really officially, but they plan ahead because they know where they're going to stick it, so they can.
Yeah. So the key is look for a gap.
Yeah.
Right? Look for a gap. Where it might
gap.
Like, well, the thing is, though, looking at I'm looking at this Untitled Marvel movies list. There's not a gap in there.
There's a gap between July and November.
But there's I know there's a July. Yeah, okay, it's a 4-month gap, but that's kind of how it is anyway.
Could they release the next Spider movie for Christmas? Is there any dates around the Christmas season?
No, hold on. There's no date between the 7/25/25 and
February.
In February, but yeah, that would be. But then again, when is
I think Spider-Man would be the next Spider-Man be a Christmas release.
The thing is but those 2 dates that we have for February and July in 2025.
Well, no, the November 7th is Avengers Secret Wars. Yeah. So there's that. But also here, Moisture says, what about Spider-Man movies? We did kind of touch upon that one. Obviously, Sony is going to do everything in the meantime to catch to catch up to this shit, and probably work a deal with Marvel in order to bring these characters over.
So that's another thing about Secret Wars. Do you guys think Sony will be involved with Secret Wars, at least putting their characters in?
Yes.
Yeah, they will.
Yeah.
Somehow.
I think they will. because people are going to want to see Toby and Andrew come back.
Yeah. Not only that, but I guarantee you Sony also wants to stick Venom in there.
Well, Venom, Madam Web, Craven. So, I mean, whatever else they're working on and shit.
Yeah. Like,
but I think even if it's just like a quick cameo
movie, I think the Madam Web movie will set up at least the Sony-verse side of how many heroes are in that universe.
That's what I'm saying. They want to be a leech on it. So I think, listen, even if those Sony characters only get like a cameo fight scene, they want to be a part of it because they know.
Well, yeah, that boosts their stock exponentially. As for Punisher, I have a feeling we'll see him pop up in Daredevil. I don't think they're done with John Bernthal. He was too well liked in the role to say, Jessica Jones is clearly going to come back as well. As I keep saying, Finn Jones.
I think she's going to be like a presence in Echo for Daredevil, but then she's going to be in Daredevil.
And then probably get her own show.
The rumors that Matt Murdock is trying to find Jessica Jones.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, she's a presence in Echo, but then she's in the Daredevil series. And like, I think with the Daredevil Born Again, I think it's going to be Purple Man and Kingpin, and it's going to be and Jessica Jones and Matt are like the heroes of it, and Purple Man and Kingpin are the villains.
They're not going to bring back Purple Man. They're not going to bring him back. I don't think they are. That's not when you're dealing with the subject of sexual assault, like the Jessica Jones and how it dealt with like abuse, what is it? Physical abuse, emotional abuse, and sexual abuse was very interesting for the time when that came out. And a lot of people rallied around that story because how it was presented. They ain't going to touch it.
What about Luke Cage and Iron Fist?
Give me fucking Finn Jones and Mike Coulter.
I know you want. I'm just asking.
I want it. But I think it's going to be Shang-Chi will bring in Iron Fist. But I don't think it's going to be like, as much as I want Finn Jones, I'm not unrealistic. I understand.
Probably not going to happen.
However, can Paramount Plus please cancel Evil so we can get Mike Coulter back into the MCU as Luke Cage?
But Evil is really good though. So
I hear it's really good. I know. I'm willing to take one for the team. I mean, I don't watch the show, but I hear it's good. So you're willing to take one for the team. And then Moisture here asks, could Daredevil get a movie? I don't know. I'm hoping so.
Dude, he's getting an 18-episode first season. He's good.
He'll pop up in other movies, I think. I think he'll pop up in other movies.
Pop in other movies, but yeah.
So, but real quick, let's give our final thoughts because I actually have got to really use the restroom, so I got to wrap it up. Okay, obviously, who do you think won Comic-Con? It's not
Star Trek.
Star Trek. That's a very bold question.
Well, actually, Star Trek had an amazing press conference.
Star Trek and Marvel won this San Diego Comic-Con.
Yeah, I think Star Trek did really good this year. Marvel won Comic-Con, obviously.
Yeah,
but I mean, it really wasn't a competition.
No, I think DC had an opportunity.
Walking Dead 2 did really good this year too.
Well, the Walking Dead panels are always great. Like regardless. Those are always fantastic. As I've said,
Dragons.
That was pretty good, yeah.
John Wick,
yeah. I mean, the Berserker movie sounds pretty good too. That whole thing sounds really interesting.
It feels like everybody won except for DC.
Well, it's because people brought things that were interesting except for DC. Not to say even DC didn't bring anything that was interesting. I think had Deadline not run that article saying that it could be, Henry Cavill could be there, it wouldn't have been like the questions about Superman would have remained.
Yeah, it sold the thunder.
Yeah, but everyone was talking about it. Yeah, everyone was like, "Oh, so yeah." I think Benson here says Marvel Phase 8 Condor Man, and then you can finally die, Benson. That's what's going to be your swan song. Is you're going to be able to convince Kevin Feige to make Condor Man, and then you've lived your life, sir. You've had a good life, and you'll be able to stick it to people who don't like Condor Man. Like, he's back, baby. Yeah, I'm kidding. I realized that sounded kind of bad, right? I was trying to be funny with it, but I'm like, then you could die. Like, oof.
Then you can just die.
Then you could die. That was not meant to be taken away. Yeah. It was meant to be jovial, not meant to be dark.
I was like, okay.
That's my bad. Sorry.
Talk about death once more, though. DC, I'm kidding. But no, seriously, though, I don't know how any other company or studio is going to compete with this level of output. Like, how do you, again, that's just another conversation that we don't want to go back to.
Well, I think
I'm blown away because I'm just, looking back now, you realize how bad things are because I don't know how any other company gets a foothold on the genre if you're not Amazon with The Boys and Invincible, or you're not trying to do something very different. where it's not Marvel, where you're doing something very provocative and violent, something very different. So,
I mean,
you know what I'm
well,
saying? Where it's like the only competition really is stuff like The Boys and Invincible.
But again, they don't want to be like The Boys and Invincible now, do they? Even though that's where the audience is. But like I said,
but they're filling up the niche.
Yeah, I agree with Watcher here. It's like, DC's trying to restart. I get that, right? However,
I get that too, but it's slow.
It is very well. Remember, we all said this back in 2016 or back in 2015 or whatever the fuck it was that they announced Justice League. I forget. And they're like, all right, so we're doing Justice League Part 1, Part 2, and you're like, okay, hold, like they're really trying to quickly get to Marvel because they're doing Man of Steel, BVS, Wonder Woman, Suicide Squad, then Justice League, and that was in a 4-year period. Obviously that was like meant to tie into like what's the word I want to use here? I mean, it was meant to kind of copy Marvel's Phase 1 because Phase 1 for Marvel was 4 years, right? And so but they're rushing to get to Avenger or to Justice League, and you're like, well, there's more characters. They should all probably get their own movie or at least maybe a team up film that would have made it work a little bit better. But I do feel, look, and I'll say this, I feel Zach was really making a good blueprint, and they got scared and they fucked it up, and now they're trying to scramble. And if The Rock can take it, run with it, and be successful, then more power to him. But if that's not the case, if this fails yet once again, Anna-fucking-mation. That's my take.
Yeah, I got to figure something out.
That's
and like I said, I'm not trying to rub it in anyone's face. I'm just like,
no,
I love DC. It's just like, and I love stuff like the Batman, their standalone films. So I'm just looking at this like, DC fans deserve better because there's so much potential to do something great with the cinematic universe that's not being realized. That's my big thing.
Yeah, no, I agree. I absolutely agree. But all right, everybody, if you guys haven't already, please smash the like, beat the fuck out of it. And we'll talk again tomorrow night for another episode of Hollywood After Dark. Thank you, RJ. Thank you, Kate. And thank you to everyone who dropped a super chat and supported, left a like, all that jazz.